Chapter 331. Dragons are good at doing things when they want to. 10th Tower, 1st floor. Grrr, grrr. A giant silver dragon lay sprawled, snoring in its sleep. Then, Stella Hisron, wake up quickly. The administrator of the 10th Tower woke Stella up. Why are you waking me up? Last, someone has passed the trial of the 10th Tower. Really? Stella's face brightened at the words of the 10th Tower's administrator. Stella, who had been bored waiting all this time. Finally, they're coming. Stella looked towards the entrance of the 10th Tower with sparkling eyes. However, the entrance remained quiet even after a while. Administrator, aren't they coming? When will they arrive? Well, they should be coming soon. The administrator of the 10th Tower dodged Stella's question. A moment later. Grrr, grrr. Stella, tired of waiting, fell asleep again, but the administrator of the 10th Tower couldn't bring himself to wake her up. A key. Despite its small size, the key was quite heavy. Click. As Sejun was about to examine the key, confirmed that the dragon blood of all 9 dragon tribes is of leader level. Your affinity with the dragon clan is at the highest level. As an additional reward, you have earned the right to ascend to the 2nd floor of the 10th Tower. Messages followed. Heh, nice, a free pass straight to the 2nd floor. Sejun laughed, reading the message. Moreover, he obtained 2 pieces of good information from the message. One was that if he went to the 10th Tower, he would start from the 1st floor. Although it was a perfectly logical thing, for Sejun, starting from the 1st floor of the tower was not something he took for granted. The other was, I can also obtain the dragon blood of the other leader-level dragons. That he Cloud obtain the dragon blood of the other 5 dragon clan leaders at any time. It wasn't easy, but after seeing Kaiser and the other dragons make a vessel for the dragon blood in just one day, Sejun was firmly mistaken. Dragons are good at doing things when they want to. Sejun came to a rather rational conclusion. He closely examined the key. Key to the 10th Tower. A key that can open the door to the 10th Tower. When magic power is infused, a golden guiding line towards the door appears from the key. Only the user of the key can see the guiding line. The farther away from the door, the fainter the guiding line becomes, and the more magic power is infused, the clearer the guiding line becomes. Durability, indestructible. Usage restriction. Those who have passed the trial of the 10th Tower, Tower Farmer Park Sejun. Grade, unmeasurable. Infuse it with magic power. As Sejun read the description and infused the key with his magic power. Wung. The key vibrated slightly. And then, nothing happened. What? Is it because the surroundings are too bright that the guide line isn't visible? Sejun covered the key with both hands to block the light and Wung looked inside while pouring all his magic power into the key. But I can't see it. The golden guiding line described was not visible. In this case, there were 2 possibilities. First, the possibility that the door leading to the 10th Tower did not exist. Second, it must be because my magic power is too low for the guiding line to be visible. That's it. Sejun naturally thought it was the latter. Based on his past experiences, this seemed more likely. Thus, Sejun inadvertently proved that his magic power stat was low. Aileen, please talk to Kaisernam now. Kahaha, thanks. He nonchalantly compensated Kaiser for the dragon blood. These events had been common, so it wasn't much of a shock. Kaisernam, please try these. Sejun handed over 100 thick darkness cherries to Kaiser. What's this? After checking the options of the cherries, Kaiser. Kahaha, as expected of our Sejun. Kaiser looked at Sejun as if he adored him to death and Sejun, take this. He handed over a black bracelet. The design was similar to the dragon's return bracelet. Dragon Horn Summoning Bracelet. The great black dragon, Kaiser Pratani, personally enchanted a piece of his horn to create this. When magic power is infused, it activates a summoning spell that brings a designated target to the summoner's side, regardless of any obstacles. Up to 5 targets can be designated for summoning. Up to 5 people can be summoned per month. Currently designated summoning targets, 05. Usage restriction, Park Sejun, recognized by Kaiser Pratani. Creator Kaiser Pratani. Grade unmeasurable. Being able to summon the designated 5 targets. The content was excellent. However, this time it works properly right. Having been let down once before, Sejun was initially skeptical. Of course, this time it will activate using absolute coordinates, so what happened last time won't happen again. Kahaha, enjoy this well. Kaiser, having confidently declared this, flew towards the fountain, holding the cherries preciously, obviously to brag to the other dragons. Once Kaiser had left, clicking, Sejun wore the dragon horns, summoning bracelet on his right hand. And then, tab tab tab, pad pad. While earnestly feeding Theo Churu, he stroked Theo's head with his right hand. The first summoning target has been designated for the dragon horn's summoning bracelet. Theo was designated as a summoning target. Next, as he stroked the head of Kyungi, who was slurping bean noodles. The second summoning target has been designated for the dragon horn's summoning bracelet. He was designated as a summoning target during the designation of the two as summoning targets. So, fragments of the Apostle of Destruction appeared on Sejun Nim's earth, right? Yeah, so Golden Bat, go and take care of it. Flamey was informing the Golden Bat about the situation on Earth, because if she stepped in, Earth would be destroyed. Pip pip, leave it to me. The Golden Bat confidently responded. Originally, the Golden Bat could not leave the Hanla building. Initially, because its body was weak, it had to teleport whenever it accumulated enough teleportation energy. However, the Golden Bat became stronger by eating Sejun's crops, enabling it to withstand not using teleportation energy. And the Golden Bat saved its teleportation energy for a crucial moment someday. Thanks to this, the Golden Bat had accumulated enough teleportation energy, and now its range and duration of activity had significantly increased. I'll be back then. Okay, when you get to Earth, I'll tell you where to go. Yes. The Golden Bat departed for Earth, sent off by Flamey. 84th floor of the tower. Inside the castle of the Cayman Kingdom. Thump. Kuka Croker Yu. Gavial, the king of the Cayman Kingdom, looked in disbelief at the one who had stabbed him in the chest. Croker Cayman, the first prince of the Cayman Kingdom, who was to succeed him as king. That's because you are a weak king who lacks the courage to fight dragons. Croker replied with a sneer to Gavial's question. Kekek, with the power of destruction, even I can fight dragons. Confidence was written all over Croker's face. What have you done? Gavial's eyes widened in alarm for the future of the kingdom as he died. Thump. Croker reached into the chest of the dead Gavial and pulled out a black orb. King of Cayman's inner core. Father, I will make good use of this. Gulp. Croker swallowed the inner core. Then, Ruwar. A red aura spread around Croker and was then absorbed back. And Gavial's body, briefly engulfed in red energy, had disappeared as if it had been scattered into the red mist on the outskirts of destruction. As Gavial vanished, thud, Croker sat on the blood-stained, damp throne. The ministers watched Croker, frozen in fear. Let's start the meeting. Why is no one speaking? Does someone else need to die? Yo, Your Majesty, the military strength of the 79th floor's Kingdom of Kav, under the protection of the Black Dragon, has significantly increased recently. Your Majesty, the growth of the Red Ribbon Kingdom on the 55th floor, also under the protection of the Black Dragon, is not to be underestimated. The ministers, not understanding why Croker had suddenly changed, instinctively knew they had to say what Croker wanted to hear to survive. Therefore, they mentioned the kingdom of Kav and the Red Ribbon Kingdom, which could provide a justification for fighting dragons without directly confronting them. I see. There are so many threats to our Cayman kingdom. Hear me, ministers. We will no longer be under the dominion of dragons. And as a declaration of war to the dragons, we will strike the kingdom of Kav first. Yes, your majesty. The military forces of the Cayman kingdom began their march towards the kingdom of Kav. Sol Gangnam. Flab Flab. Flamey Nim, where are you? When the Golden Bat arrived on Earth and left the Hanla building, looking around. Golden Bat, over here. Flamey called the Golden Bat, shaking her small roots that had emerged from the ground. Flamey Nim, where should I go? The Golden Bat hurriedly asked, knowing there was a limit to how long it could stay on Earth. Over there. Flamey pointed with her roots towards the Black Tower in Harbin. Okay, see you at the tower then. Swoosh. The Golden Bat flew quickly in the direction Flamey had pointed. Harbin, China. Hunters were fiercely confronting the Black Locusts about 5 km in front of the Black Tower. The Black Locusts had a considerably hard exoskeleton, so while other hunters blocked their advance. Wizards, use your fire magic. Power of Fire's Fireball. Power of Fire, Fire Blessed. Boom, boom. It was most effective for the wizards, who needed time to chant their spells, to use fire magic to burn and kill the Black Locust's organs. When the number of Black Locusts had reduced to 1/3 due to the wizard's fire magic. Flap, flap. Darkness descended along with the eerie sound of wings flapping. Huh. The hunters, startled, looked up at the sky. A vastly greater number of Black Locusts than before covered the sky in black, flying towards the Black Tower. And behind the Black Locusts, a giant black crow was visible. The Black Locusts they had been fighting were just a small scouting party. Kekek, hurry and conquer the tower. Following Halfa's command, the Black Locusts flew towards the Black Tower. Block them. We must not let them through. The hunters screamed, preparing to block the approaching Black Locusts, but their bodies were already consumed by fear. The natural instinct of humans faced with immense power. However, double fireball. Blaze. They desperately overcame that fear and fiercely fought against the Black Locusts again. But far more Black Locusts flew past them towards the Black Tower than they could block. No, it's over. When the hunters despaired, seeing the Black Tower being overwhelmed by more than half with Black Locusts. Pip pip hoo. With a clear voice. Flutter, flutter. The bodies of the Black Locusts covering the Black Tower exploded. It was the Golden Bat's sonic attack. And then, pip pip, I'll protect Sejunum's Earth, pip pip storm fist. Flap, flap. The Golden Bat flapped its wings furiously towards the Black Locusts flying towards the Black Tower. Then, whoosh, a powerful storm was created, grinding the Black Locusts to dust. Thus, the Golden Bat annihilated the Black Locusts. 1 pip slash. Suddenly, the Golden Bat appeared behind Halfa's. A line cutting through the air from where the Golden Bat was to where Halfa's had been was drawn. How can this be? An entity capable of diminishing me here. The fragment of Halfa's, cut by the Golden Bat's wings, denied the unbelievable reality as it vanished. Pip pip. Finally, I used pip pip hoo, pip pip storm fist, 1 pip slash. The Golden Bat said with a proud expression. But the names of the Golden Bat's techniques sounded familiar. Pip pip hoo was inspired by Kyungi's Kyung Fu, and Pip Pip Storm Fist and 1 pip slash were modeled after Theo's Meow Meow Storm Fist and 1 meow slash. The Golden Bat had always been envious of the techniques used by Theo and Kyungi. Thus, it had created its techniques by imitating them, but since they were plagiarized techniques, they couldn't be used in the tower, and it had been waiting for an opportunity. However, this was Earth. Even if it imitated them, there was no risk of getting caught. Clink. Pip pip, I protected Sejunum's Earth. The Golden Bat, picking up black coins and wearing a proud expression, Return to the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Chapter 332. But aren't you being very disrespectful for someone asking for a favor? Late at night, on the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Waiting for it to get dark, Sejun ate an elixir-grade cherry tomato and raised his magic power stat to the potential limit of 2412. All right, the lights are out too. He completely darkened the surroundings and infused magic power into the golden key. However, no light emanated from the golden key. It was a failure. Meow, Chairman Park, it's late. Let's just sleep, meow. Theo, who had been waiting by his side, yawned and urged Sejun to go to bed. Yeah, I should. Thinking he had done everything possible under the circumstances, he went inside the house without any regrets and fell asleep. A few hours later, inside Sejun's bedroom where he slept. Gorarong, Kurarong, Erarong, Kirarong. The sound of 5 people snoring was heard. Iona had finished her duties at the Wizards Association and had joined them. Then, Pip Pip, Sejun Nim, I'm back. The golden bat quietly reported its return from Earth and Snap clinged to Sejun's side, hiding itself. And then, Bararong. The golden bat snored, seemingly tired from its trip to Earth after a long while. Thus, the sound of 6 people snoring in Sejun's bedroom became each other's lullabies. Another peaceful night on the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Yet a massive war was about to start below. 83rd floor of the tower. By the king's command, kill all enemies blocking the way of the Cayman Kingdom without leaving a single one alive. 300,000 soldiers of the Cayman Kingdom invaded the 83rd floor to attack the Kingdom of Kav on the 79th floor. And then, the Cayman Kingdom's army is coming. Pack your things quickly. Let's run away. The residents of the 83rd floor chose to flee rather than fight the invaders. The Cayman Kingdom's army did not chase and kill as long as they did not block their way, so it was a rather reasonable choice. However, the chestnut hedgehogs did not do that. Quiek, quiek. This land belongs to the great black dragon, Park Sejun. We will definitely protect it. Because there was a chestnut farm located right in the middle of the path, the Cayman Kingdom's army was passing through. Quiek. We will protect it. Quiek. Smash them all. Following the words of the chestnut hedgehogs, leader, Godery, the other chestnut hedgehogs stretched their cute hands towards the sky in agreement. Quiek. Pull out the thorns and stick them in the ground. Quiek, quiek. Following Godery's order, the orderly lined-up hedgehogs plucked 2 thorns from the hedgehog in front of them and poke, poke, stuck them into the ground. The hedgehog's arms were too short to pluck thorns from their own backs. Thus, after planting the thorns, chug, the hedgehog stepped sideways, poke, poke, and once again plucked thorns from the hedgehog in front of them, sticking them into the ground, effectively covering the surrounding area of the chestnut farm with thorns. A little over 10,000 hedgehogs began a desperate resistance against the 300,000 soldiers of the Cayman Kingdom at the chestnut farm. During sleep, 10% of your life force has been stored. The life orb is 1.8% complete. Over 24 hours, 0.1 magic power has been accumulated. Your magic power has increased by 0.1. Hef, I've grown again today. Sejun woke up and checked the messages. Meow. As usual, he picked up Theo by the scruff of his neck, who was sleeping on his lap, and put him on his lap. Then, Kurarong. Yona, you were here. Sejun noticed Yona, who had wrapped herself with Theo's tail and was sleeping curled around him. And then, that's right. Seeing Yona reminded him of the gray rock he had acquired after defeating the Mordor, Demon King of Despair. I'll show it to Yona when she wakes up. Inside Iona's body was sealed the Nightmare, Demon King of Nightmares. Perhaps he could easily obtain the second Demon King's heart. A moment later, the golden sweet potato, are grateful for the farmer's footsteps and lends its strength. Strength stats potential rises from 1294 to 1295. As Sejun walked through the farm, absorbing the energy of the crops to increase his potential. Kaiwo Jayut. Yona stretched languidly as she woke up. Yona, you're awake. Kaiwat. Good morning, did you sleep well, Sejunim? Yona, feeling great after a good sleep, greeted him cheerfully in the morning. Yeah, I slept well too. Yona, I have something to show you. As Sejun responded to Iona's greeting. Clank. He opened the void storage and took out a gray rock split into two. Then, Kaiwat, what is this? Iona was surprised to see the gray rock, immediately recognizing what it was used for. It was natural. It was the item she had been searching for a long time to help her sleep well. It was cleanly cut, and it seemed like it could be used again with a little work. Iona, do you know what this is? Kaiwat, of course, this is a sealing stone. A sealing stone. Kaiwat. Yes, a stone that seals magic, a sealing stone. But Sejunim, where did you get this? Yona asked excitedly. Hut, I'll tell you that, meow. Not missing the chance to show off, Theo proudly explained how they came to possess the sealing stone. Kaiwat. Theo defeated the Demon King of Despair. That's amazing. Hut, that's right, meow. From beginning to end, it was all Vice Chairman Theo's doing, meow. Flattered by Yona's praise, Theo became even more arrogant. He followed Theo's lead, and it was true that Theo had defeated the Mordor Demon King of Despair, so it was a fair point. This guy. Sejun quietly smiled as he watched Theo boast to Yona. But the one who took the sealing stone was me, Park Sejun. Meow. I was about to take it, but Chairman Park just took it first, meow. Heh, in the end, I'm the one who ended up with the sealing stone. Sejun teasingly provoked Theo. However, Kaiwat. Theonim, don't get angry. If you hadn't found the place where the Demon King of Despair was, we wouldn't have this sealing stone at all. I think Theonim's role was bigger. Theo had a strong ally, Yona. Hut, that's right, meow. The vice chairman's role was the greatest, meow. Encouraged by Yona's words, Theo's spirits lifted once again. Love you. Is there no one on my side? Looking for support, Sejun searched for allies when. Hut. Yona, then let's seal Nightmare here and defeat it, meow. Chairman Park needs to eat 5 Demon King hearts to become stronger, meow. Theo suggested to Iona that they should defeat Nightmare. However, defeat. Zona couldn't readily agree. Meow, Zona, why meow? Theo looked at Iona, puzzled. Nightmare only gave her nightmares, so why hesitate, meow? Kaiwat, that's. If Nightmare disappears, she won't have a reason to sleep with Theo anymore. Yona couldn't be honest about her feelings. Moreover, for some reason, Nightmare had been getting nicer lately. So with Nightmare helping in dreams with magical research and such, there wasn't really a need to defeat it. What should I do? As Yona pondered what to do about Nightmare. Human, I am the Nightmare, Demon King of Nightmares. If you spare me, I will give you my heart. TL. I don't know if I mentioned this previously, but here the name of Nightmare is in English and the title in Korean, which when translated to Korean makes it Nightmare, Demon King of Nightmares. The urgent voice of the Nightmare, Demon King of Nightmares, resounded in Sejun's mind. No way, you've been tormenting Iona by preventing her from sleeping. Sejun naturally refused. True, we've become quite close recently, ask Iona. Ask Iona. But aren't you being very disrespectful for someone asking for a favor? No, it's not. Human Nim, please ask Iona. Without a second of hesitation, Nightmare urgently raised his voice at Sejun's words. He really wanted to live. Fine, I'll ask her. After showing a bit of arrogance and clearing his throat once, Sejun. Iona, how have things been with Nightmare lately? Asked Iona. Kaiwat, what? Yona was startled by Sejun's unexpected question. Kaiwak, the truth is. Yona honestly shared her situation. So, you're saying that recently Nightmare hasn't been causing you nightmares? Kaiwok, yes. Recently, Nightmare has actually been quite helpful in various ways. Yona cautiously answered, glancing at Theo. Got it. Sejun accepted Yona's answer. Hey, can you hear me? Sejun called out to Nightmare in his mind. Yes, I can hear you. Nightmare quickly responded. Since you've been helping Yona recently, I'll let you live in exchange for your heart. Thank you, human Nim. But there's a condition. A condition. Yes, write a contract that you won't threaten Iona. Of course, I'll write it right away. Good, now give me your heart. Yes, just a moment. Following Nightmare's response. Kaiwat. A yellow energy began to seep out of Iona's body and started forming into a sphere. After a moment, a yellow sphere was completed. Grab. When Sejun picked up the sphere and examined it. Heart of Nightmare, Demon King of Nightmares. It's almost similar. Like the Mordor Demon King of Despair's heart, it had the effect of increasing magic power by 300. However, the talent was different. The Bringer of Nightmares. But I can't eat it now. Eating it wouldn't increase his magic power, because he had already raised his magic power to its potential limit yesterday. However, well, I'll just eat it anyway. Gulp. Sejun swallowed the yellow sphere without hesitation. Even though the 300 magic power went to waste, to Sejun, that amount was trivial and could be compensated by eating just 30 elixir-grade cherry tomatoes. As Sejun swallowed the heart of the Nightmare, Demon King of Nightmares. You have consumed the heart of the Nightmare, Demon King of Nightmares. Your magic power increases by 300. Your magic power has reached the limit of its potential. No more magic power can be absorbed. Magic power will be discharged. Talent, the Bringer of Nightmares, has been awakened. But right, this was going to happen, as Sejun awkwardly moved with unsteady steps to take care of his business. Dedada. Theo jumped down from Sejun's lap and quickly looked for an empty spot. Pababek. Chairman Park, over here, meow. After digging a hole, Theo called over Sejun. Vice Chairman Theo, thank you. Sejun expressed his gratitude to Theo for digging the hole. Chairman Park, then do your business well, meow. Dedada. Theo cheerfully moved away from Sejun. He could tolerate the smell but not the sound. Transform. Krieg Krieg. Sejun infused magic into the guardian wooden shield, creating wooden walls around him and making a makeshift toilet. And the crops planted in this magic-enriched land were said to have a higher yield more than those planted in other lands. While Sejun was discharging the magic power he couldn't digest. Kaiwok, now I can't sleep with Theonim. I should go do some research. Right, I'll help you. Kaiwok, thank you, Nightmare. Yona, feeling disheartened, was about to return to the wizard tower. Then, Yona, aren't you going to sleep, meow? Where are you going, meow? Theo called out to Yona, swaying his tail softly. Kaiwat. Pew hut. I also sleep better when Yona is on my tail, meow. Kaiwat, 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 really? Yona was delighted by Theo's words. Pew hut, yes, meow. Kaiwat, 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 then let's sleep quickly. Swoosh. At Theo's response, Iona quickly wrapped herself with Theo's tail and closed her eyes. And then, pad pad. Chairman Park, when are you coming back, meow? You're pooping too much, meow. Theo stroked Iona while waiting for Sejun. At that moment, Pio. Theonim, a war broke out on the 83rd floor of the tower. Piot delivered the news of war to the 99th floor of the tower. Chapter 333, Pew Hut. I don't know what it is, but I'm taking it, meow. Green Dragon's territory. It's suspicious. Brachio Iorg, the leader of the Green Dragons, said this as she watched the Black Dragon, White Dragon, Red Dragon, and Purple Dragon clean the red mist in her territory. The 4 dragon clans came to the Green Dragon's territory to clean the red mist. The Green Dragons were happy they didn't have to do the bothersome task. Kayak, don't touch that. I saw it first. The dragon who can take it first owns it. Guys, fighting is a waste of time. Let's aim for that side. Seeing the 4 dragon clans competing with each other to eliminate even a bit more of the red mist, Brachio thought. There's something. She couldn't shake off the thought that there was something she didn't know going on here. It can't be that they're after tower coins, is it? The tower coins that emerge from dissipating the red mist. Tower coins are a means of transaction for the residents living inside the tower. However, dragons didn't need tower coins. If they needed something, they just had to ask. Naturally, no tower resident would refuse a dragon's request, so they didn't need tower coins. I need to find out what it is. Brachio got up and approached the dragons cleaning the red mist. What do you mean by war, meow? P.O. 300,000 troops from the Cayman Kingdom suddenly attacked the 83rd floor of the tower at dawn. The one commanding the Cayman Kingdom's army is the first prince of the Cayman Kingdom. In response to Theo's question, Piat explained in detail what it knew, not forgetting a single thing. Thanks to one of the messenger bird exclusive skills, absolute memory. Until just a moment ago, Piat was receiving official messenger bird education on the 79th floor of the tower and had come up to deliver the news of the war. This can't be, meow. That's where Chairman Park's chestnut trees and subordinates are, meow. Kyungi, Ajax gather around, meow. Theo hurriedly called the other second-in-commands. P.O. I'll go check if there's more news then. Piat went back down the tower. And then, that's why I called, meow. Kyung. They can't touch Dad's land. If you did, Kyungi will punish them. If they mess with Sejun Hyung's farm on the 83rd floor, the great white dragon Ajax, will punish them. When Theo told them that Sejun's farm on the 83rd floor might be in danger, the two grinded their teeth in anger. Kids, why are you so serious? Sejun, who had just finished his business feeling good and humming a tune, approached holding Fenrir. Kaying. I almost dug it all up. Fenrir, the sweet potato thief, was caught red-handed by Sejun while digging up sweet potatoes that hadn't even fully grown yet. As Sejun approached like that, let's go, meow. Kyung. Let's go quickly. Let's go. Theo, Kyungi, and Ajax exclaimed as they clung to Sejun's body. Go where? I don't have time to play today. There's so much to do. He needed to harvest the detoxifying green onions for Tyr and plant the seeds of the thick darkness cherries. And so on. Sejun recalled his tasks for the day. Then, meow, Chairman Park, now is not the time, meow. There's been a war, meow. Kyung. That's right, we need to protect the chestnut tree farm. Right, are you going to abandon your subordinates? The three urged Sejun. What are you talking about, a war? Only then did Sejun realize that they weren't just asking him to play around. Chairman Park, let's talk while we head to the waypoint, meow. All right, Toryang. Sejun called for Toryang to move to the waypoint. As they headed towards the waypoint. What, 300,000? That's right, meow. Sejun heard from Theo that 300,000 troops from the Cayman Kingdom had invaded the 83rd floor of the tower. I wonder if those guys are okay. Sejun checked his newly acquired talent while worrying about the chestnut hedgehogs. He wanted to see if it would be helpful in battle. Talent, bringer of nightmares. This is a talent that can only be possessed by those who have eaten the heart of the nightmare, demon king of nightmares. It bestows nightmares upon your enemies. The higher your rank compared to your enemy, the more effective it becomes. If the gap is significant, the enemy cannot wake up from the nightmare. You cannot bring nightmares to an enemy of higher rank. According to the description, it was a talent that made the enemy have nightmares. But this won't be helpful. Since enemies don't usually sleep during battle, it couldn't be used. While Sejun was checking his talent, Chairman Park, we've arrived, meow. Theo announced their arrival at the waypoint. Yeah, go inside. Click. As Sejun opened the void storage. SSSSSH. Theo, Kyungi, and Ajax went inside. And then, click. Sejun put Fenrir, which was in his pocket, into the void storage. Kaying. Where are you going alone again? Take me with you. Fenrir didn't want to be separated from Sejun. Kyung. Blackie, stay still. Kyungi was holding onto Fenrir while. Click. Sejun closed the door of the void storage. And then, moving to the 83rd floor of the Black Tower. Using the waypoint, he moved to the 83rd floor of the tower. 83rd floor of the tower. Tab. The 300,000 troops of the Cayman Kingdom, moving towards the road leading to the 82nd floor. At that moment, thunk. Alorg. The Cayman Kingdom soldiers at the very front collapsed with a scream. The thorns were coated with the poison of the poisonous bees. There are poisoned thorns on the ground. Watch your step. Yes. The soldiers carefully watched their steps at the words of the frontline soldiers. However, quick. Attack. Godary had no intention of letting the soldiers move comfortably. Bounce. Quick. Following Godary's command, 1,000 hedgehogs that were hiding their bodies in the ground got up and whoosh. They turned their backs toward the soldiers and fired thorns coated with poison. Dodge. The soldiers hurriedly moved to avoid the thorns. However, thunk. Arg. Unable to properly dodge because of the thorns on the ground. Thud. Soldiers who stepped on or were hit by flying thorns fell. In the meantime, quick. Well done, return. Quick. Following Godary's command, the hedgehogs, now bare after shooting all their thorns, quickly returned to the chestnut tree farm, exposing their pink undersides. In the meantime, the second row stand at the front and archers line up in the 3rd to 5th rows. At the commander's order, the soldiers quickly changed their positions and advance. The soldiers, now in formation, marched forward again. Quick. Attack. Whoosh. This time, 2,000 hedgehogs rose from both sides of the soldiers, shot their poisoned thorns, and returned to the farm. While the hedgehogs were inflicting damage on the Cayman Kingdom army. Why can't we move forward? Croaker Cayman, who was slowly following from behind, noticed the soldiers unable to advance. That's in front. What? You mean to say the soldiers are having trouble because of mere hedgehogs? Angered by the commander's report, Croaker's eyes turned red. And then, you have nothing to fear. You will become brave soldiers who can fight dragons. He stretched out his hand towards the soldiers with a mad declaration. Then from Croaker's hand, the red mist spread out and was absorbed by the soldiers, making their skin harden. Soldiers, go and show the greatness of our Cayman Kingdom army. Waya. At Croaker's command, the soldiers, whose eyes had turned red, shouted and marched toward the chestnut tree farm. Tab. The Cayman Kingdom army, now fearless, quickly surrounded the chestnut tree farm completely and entered inside. However, the hedgehogs were nowhere to be seen. Only the flourishing chestnuts were visible. Then, quick. Attack. Quick. Following Godary's command, the hedgehogs that had regenerated their thorns shot them at the soldiers. But, ting. Now the hedgehogs' thorns couldn't penetrate the soldiers' skin, which had been hardened by Croaker's power. Quick. The hedgehogs panicked. The king says he will personally annihilate those vermin, drive the hedgehogs into a corner. Yes. Following the commander's orders, the soldiers threatened the hedgehogs and gradually pushed them towards the center of the farm. You have arrived at the 83rd floor of the Black Tower. Moved from the top floor, the 99th floor, to the 83rd floor. You have descended 16 floors. Due to the effect of the tidal retrogressor, all stats increase by 16. as soon as Sejun arrived on the 83rd floor. Clicking. Chairman Park, let's hurry, meow. Kyung. We'll teach those bad guys a lesson. I'll crush them. The void storage opened, and Theo, Kyungi, and Ajax ran out and clung to him. Plub. Kaying. Hey, take me with you. Fenrir also jumped out of the void storage. Clicking. And approached Sejun's feet, biting his shoes to make sure he was taken along. Got it, I'll take Blackie too, Toryong. Clicking. Sejun put Fenrir in his pocket and called Toryong, hurrying towards the chestnut tree farm. How dare you block my way, you have some courage. Croaker spoke as he looked at the hedgehogs surrounded by his soldiers. Then, Quiek, you're the one who has the audacity to invade the farm of the great black dragon Park Sejun. Godary retorted without backing down. What, are you saying this is the black dragon's farm? Quiek. Yes, we might die, but the great black dragon Park Sejun will avenge us. Quiek. The hedgehogs eagerly agreed with Godary's words. But, Kukuk, do you really think you can die as you please? Croaker scoffed at the hedgehog's words. Croaker had no intention of killing the hedgehogs. Instead, he planned to use his power to make the hedgehogs his subordinates and force them to fight against dragons. Could there be anything more crushing to the dragons' proud pride than their own subordinates attacking them? Kukuk, you are now my subordinates. As Croaker was about to release the red mist from his hand. Hey, get your hands off my guys. Sejun shouted at Croaker from atop Toryong's head. And then, swish. Kyungi, are you ready, meow? As Theo asked while drawing out his dragon claws. Kyung. Ready. Kyungi energetically nodded. Then let's go, meow, meow. Kyung Fu. Theo and Kyungi combined their powers to unleash the meow fist in Kyung Fu, creating the combined attack, Meow Kyung Storm Fist. Quagwing. An enormous whirlwind filled with magic blades that seemed to cut through anything engulfed the Cayman Kingdom army. But, how trivial. Croaker stepped forward and nonchalantly blocked the combined attack with his right hand, enveloped in the red mist. No, more accurately, the red mist devoured it. The attack was absorbed by the red mist. Meow. Kyung. Sejun, Theo, and Kyungi were taken aback, having never experienced such a thing before. Don't worry, everyone, I'll handle this. Hyung released the seal. Ajax, feeling smug, spoke up. Hey, it's my turn to step in. All right, I Park Sejun, released the seal on Ajax Maimb. Just as Sejun began to release Ajax's seal. What is this? Fenrir poked his head out of Sejun's pocket, feeling a familiar energy suddenly. And then, Kaying. Why does that bastard have my core? Fenrir was startled upon seeing Croaker. Though the energy was weak, it was definitely his core that he felt inside Croaker's body. In the meantime, seal release. Leave it to me, Hyung. Quulu. With the seal released, Ajax confidently fired his breath at Croaker. However, Croaker, though struggling, managed to block Ajax's breath. Then, Kaying. Core, come to me. Fenrir, on the verge of fainting from Ajax's energy, hurriedly called out to its core. Thanks to Theo's energy drain, it was fainting rather than dying. Zook. Thus, a small black orb flew out of Croaker's body towards Fenrir, heeding its master's call. But, grab. Meow, what is this, meow? Theo, defending around Sejun with an iron wall, caught the orb with his front paw. And then, Pew hut, I don't know what it is, but I'm taking it, meow. He put it into his bag, while Theo was taking the piece of Fenrir's core. Quagwing. Guard Ajax Maimb has killed the king of Cayman Kingdom, Croaker Cayman. You have obtained 2.5 million experience points, which is 50% of the experience Guard Ajax Maimb earned. Ajax Maimb is your slave. You gain an additional 1.25 million experience points, which is 25% of the experience Ajax Mame earned. With the core gone and unable to withstand the breath attack anymore, Croker was completely obliterated by Ajax's breath without a trace. Chapter 334. Bring back a hefty compensation. Kneel all of you. Boom! As Ajax's magic-filled shout echoed, the soldiers of the Cayman Kingdom found themselves kneeling involuntarily. And then, I greet the great white dragon. Terrified, one of the soldiers prostrated himself before Ajax, paying his respects. I greet the great white dragon. Other soldiers hurried to pay their respects as well. It was like a collapsing domino effect. Once the 300,000 soldiers of the Cayman Kingdom were subdued. Heh, Sejun Hyung, you saw my power, right? Ajax looked at Sejun with pride. Yeah, I saw it well, Seal. Sejun nodded and sealed Ajax. Ajax Hyung is tired. Sejun, having hit all stats at 1,000 and his resistance to other energies increased by 10%, was less tired than before, but it was still hard. Heh, now I'm the second in command, right? Ajax, now small again, boasted to Theo and Kyungi. However, Pew Hut, that's not possible, meow. If I, Vice Chairman Theo, had used my secret technique, it would have been my victory, meow. Kyung. That's right. Kyungi also didn't use his hidden technique, Kyungi's destruction fist. Since they hadn't used their full power, neither recognized Ajax as the second in command. Eek, I'm the second in command. No, meow. I, Vice Chairman Theo, am the second in command, meow. Kyung. Kyungi is the second in command. As the three were about to argue about who was the second in command. Kids, go and heal the hedgehogs. Sejun asked them to treat the hedgehogs. Then, Pew Hut, understood, meow. Hedgehogs, come to me, Vice Chairman Theo, who has the best medical skills, meow. Theo called over the hedgehogs from Sejun's knees and healed them with a healing spell. Kyung. No, Kyungi has the best medical skills. Kyungi will give a good massage with physical magic power. Kyungi moved around among the hedgehogs, healing those that were having difficulty moving with physical magic power massages. And then, snored. Consider it an honor that I am treating you, recovery. Ajax treated the critically injured hedgehogs. The three of them, who had been growling at each other until a moment ago, now worked together so well in treating the hedgehogs according to their condition. A short while later, Grr. The sound of the hedgehogs snoring en masse filled the chestnut tree farm. Having been relieved of their pain through treatment, they fell asleep all at once due to the fatigue that had accumulated. Meanwhile, Theo and Kyungi started collecting signatures on a contract. Pew Hut, we got a lot of slaves, meow. Kyung. Stamp it. They began to collect stamps from the Cayman Kingdom soldiers who had been prostrating until then. Then, meow. Chug. Theo silently extended his front paw to one of the soldiers. Huh, what? The perplexed soldier. Pew Hut, I, Vice Chairman Theo, know you have something. Hand it over quickly, meow. Theo grinned ominously at the soldier. Then, sigh. Shug. The soldier resigned, pulled out a black orb from his belongings. Snatch. Theo snatched the orb from the soldier's hand and ran excitedly to Sejun. Chairman Park, here I come, meow. And then, Jag. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I've got something good, meow. Theo handed the black orb to Sejun. King of Cayman's inner core. How this is? It was the inner core that had fallen from Croker upon his death. The soldier had secretly picked it up when it flew towards him. Meanwhile, plop. Now rub my belly, meow. Theo lay on Sejun's knees. Stroke. Sejun silently stroked Theo's belly while examining the inner core. King of Cayman's inner core. This is the inner core that the kings of Cayman Kingdom have kept through generations. The magical power of the previous kings has been accumulating in the inner core, containing about 2,500 years' worth of practice. Upon consumption, you gain a total of 1,000 bonus stats. If consumed by beings with magic power less than 2,500, the inner core will absorb all stats from them instead. Upon consumption, your level increases by 5. Usage restriction, LV, 100 or above, all stats 2,500 or above. Grade. Wow, there's something beyond level 100. Sejun realized that there was a level beyond 100 as he read the usage restriction. But this is impressive, Sejun remarked as he fiddled with the inner core. Despite the incredibly high usage conditions, the effects of plus 1000 bonus stats and plus 5 levels made it all seem reasonable. Moreover, it had 3 stars, which were known to be stronger than SSS grade. It meant it was an incredible item. Vice Chairman Theo, good job. Stroke, stroke. Sejun praised Theo as he diligently stroked Theo's belly. Pew pew hut, that's it, meow, work harder, meow. Theo enjoyed Sejun's touch. Right, meow, I also picked this up earlier, meow. Theo pulled out Fenrir's core that he had put in his bag earlier. Core fragment. Is this an unappraised item? Chug. Sejun grabbed the thumbnail-sized core fragment to send it to Aileen for appraisal. Then, you have acquired a fragment of the door leading to the 10th tower. A message appeared in front of Sejun. Swish. And a fist-sized brown wooden piece separated from the core fragment. It was a piece of the door leading to the 10th tower that Fenrir had torn off and eaten in the past. Huh? What? Was there no door to the 10th tower? Sejun was baffled as he examined the brown piece. A fragment of the door leading to the 10th tower. It is one of the fragments of the door leading to the 10th tower. Currently, the door is broken into 5 pieces, making it impossible to create a path to the 10th tower. Usage restriction, the one who holds the key to the 10th tower. Grade unmeasurable. The door broke into 5 pieces. So, then that means I have to find 4 more pieces. This made Sejun's journey to the 10th tower significantly more troublesome. At that moment, Kaying, my core, hey, that's mine. Fenrir, the culprit who made things troublesome for Sejun, woke up and claimed ownership of the core. Chomp, and bit the core in Sejun's hand. However, Blackie no meow. Whack. Theo hit Fenrir on the back of the neck to make him spit out the core. Chug. Good job. Sejun caught the core that Fenrir spat out. And, Blackie, you wanted to eat this, huh? Understood. Shove. Sejun put a black bead into Fenrir's mouth. It was royal jelly that the poisonous queen bee had upgraded in effect and bitterness. Kaying. This isn't my core. Fenrir ate the black royal jelly and passed out from the intense bitterness. It might have been karma. Tab. Blackie, sleep well. Sejun put the unconscious Fenrir in his pocket. Aileen, please appraise this. And asked Aileen for appraisal. The tower's administrator tells you to entrust it to her. Thus, Fenrir's core fragment was handed over to Aileen's care. White Dragon's territory. Thud. A giant green dragon landed. It was Brachio. She had come to see Kellyan, the one she was closest to among the 4 dragon tribes. Brachio, what brings you here? Kellyan asked Brachio. Kellyan, I came to ask you something. Ask me, what about? Yes, recently the activities of the white, black, red, and purple dragons have been lively. Do you know why? Why, you ask? It's just to reduce the power of destruction a bit. Kellyan answered, slightly avoiding Brachio's persistent gaze. Really? Brachio asked again. Yes. Kellyan tried to sound nonchalant, but it was clear he was lying. Then can you swear on your name? No, you don't just swear on your name whenever. Then, in exchange for swearing on your name, I'll grant you 2 favors. I don't want to. As I thought, you're hiding something. I told you I'm not, I should go to sleep now. A clear invitation to leave. There's something. Brachio, suspicious of Kellyan's departing figure, went a fine ramter. his next closest friend. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, we got all the stamps, meow. Kyung. Dad, all done. After playing on Sejun's lap by himself, Theo, when caught by Kyungi, went back to stamping and has now returned after finishing stamping the rest with Kyungi. Thanks to the hedgehogs that woke up in the meantime, it didn't take too long. By the way, Ajax was harvesting chestnuts under Sejun's orders. Good work, Godary, these guys are yours to command now. Sejun handed over the 300,000 soldiers of the Cayman Kingdom to Godary. Queed. Thank you. Queed. Godary and the hedgehogs felt honored by Sejun's words. But what about the Cayman Kingdom? As Sejun pondered over what to do with the Cayman Kingdom on the 84th floor of the tower. Where is this? Yona, who had been sleeping soundly on Theo's tail without knowing anything, stretched lazily and asked after waking up. The surroundings had completely changed while she was asleep. Pew Hut, Iona, did you sleep well, meow? This is the 83rd floor of the tower. As Theo explained how they ended up here to Yona. Kaiwo, those bad guys. If I hadn't been asleep, I would have dropped a meteor on them. But since the enemy has already surrendered. Yona spoke with a tone of regret after hearing the story. Pew Hut, don't be disappointed, Iona. Bad guys will appear again, meow. Kaiwat, yes. As the two were talking. Guys, let's go back. Sejun got ready to return. Although the 83rd floor suffered a lot of damage, with the sturdy 300,000 slaves, it would be quickly repaired. On top of that, he planned to send Theo to the 84th floor to receive war reparations from the Cayman Kingdom, so there were sufficient funds. Thus, without realizing it himself, Theo was set to go to the Cayman Kingdom on the 84th floor. Vice Chairman Theo, have a good trip. Meow, where am I going, meow? Yeah, go to the 84th floor and bring back a hefty compensation. Meow, understood, meow, leave it to me, meow. Initially reluctant, Theo confidently answered, Pew Hut, this is my specialty, meow. Chairman Park, I'll be off then, meow. Kaiwat, I'll go too. Okay, have a safe trip. With Sejun's farewell, Theo, with Yona on his tail, cheerfully headed towards the 84th floor. And then, Toryang. Sejun called for Toryang and headed towards the waypoint. A moment later, moving to the 99th floor of the Black Tower, Sejun returned to the 99th floor of the tower. Black Tower's administrator area. First seat of Apostle of Destruction, Fenrir's core fragment. This is a fragment of Fenrir's core, the first seat among the Apostles of Destruction. It contains 0.01% of his total power. If the power of destruction within is not removed, you will be consumed by it. Why is Fenrir's core here? Aileen wondered aloud after the appraisal of the core was completed. However, that concern was brief. But in this state, our Sejun can't use it right. She began to ponder if there was a way for Sejun to use the core. And then, all right, first, let's try to remove the power of destruction inside. She started to infuse magic power into the core fragment to eliminate the power of destruction within. As some of the power of destruction was removed from the core. Clatter. Suddenly, tower coins piled up around the core. It worked on the same principle as eliminating the red mist. These are tower coins. Kehehehe. Sejun, just wait a bit, I'll bring you a lot of money. Wulong. Aileen began to use her magic power in earnest to annihilate the destruction in Fenrir's core fragment. Clatter. And tower coins began to pile up in the Black Tower's administrator area. Chapter 335. Why am I wagging my tail? You have arrived at the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Sejun arrived at the 99th floor. Moo. Welcome, Sejun Nim. Yeah. After greeting the Minotaur King, he headed to the farm. While moving to the farm, night has fallen. Title, the one who restored the night, is activated. All stats increase by 20% during the night. The sky darkened and night fell. I should eat something simple for dinner. Clank. Due to the late hour, Sejun opened void storage to take out some garrydiox, intending to eat something simple and quick. He planned to grill the garrydiox. Kyung. It's garrydiox. Hyung, are we eating garrydiox? Kyungi and Ajax got excited seeing the garrydiox. Yeah, just wait a moment. Sejun replied, placing a grill over the fire. Tab tab. And started grilling the garrydiox on it. While the garrydiox were grilling, glug glug, Sejun poured honey into a sauce bowls to dip the garrydiox in. He prepared 2 types of honey, regular and kudzu, so they could dip in their preferred one. And then, flip flip. He flipped the garrydiox occasionally to prevent them from burning, grilling them to a golden brown on both sides. After a while, it's done. Sejun served the well-grilled garrydiox on plates for Kyungi and Ajax. Kyung. Delicious. Sejun, Hyung, you're the best. The two started to enjoy the grilled garrydiox, dipped in honey. Sejun also picked up a grilled garrydiox and dipped it into the kudzu honey before taking a bite. Crunch. The crispy outside of the garrydiox, grilled to perfection, broke with a delightful sound, revealing the soft garrydiox hidden inside. Haha, delicious. The sticky garrydiox mixed with the kudzu honey pleased Sejun's palate. After eating dinner, Kyung. Dad, good night. Kyungi went to sleep. Ajax, take Blackie and go to sleep first. Sejun, having more things to do, sent the tired Ajax to bed with Fenrir. Okay, Hyung, I'll go to sleep first. Ajax, carrying the passed-out Fenrir, headed home. Thud thud. While Sejun moved to an empty plot of land to plant the seeds of the thick darkness cherry. He thought it might be better to plant them at night, given their dark attribute. Poke. After digging with his dagger, he planted the cherry seeds. You have planted the seeds of the thick darkness cherry in a land filled with magic power. Your job experience increases slightly. You have planted thick darkness cherry during the night, due to which the growth speed of the thick darkness cherry will double for 1 week. Due to the land filled with magic power, all effects of magic seed sowing LV 8 increase by 50%. Your proficiency of magic seed sowing skill LV 8 increases slightly. The messages that appeared confirmed Sejun's guess that it was better to plant the cherries at night. But what does it mean by land filled with magic power? Sejun initially puzzled, then realized what it meant. The place where he had just planted the cherries was the same land he had used in the morning. It became fertilizer. Sejun, satisfied that his output was beneficial for farming, continued to plant cherries and then went asleep. In the Black Tower's administrator area. Phew, it's tiring. Aileen was exhausted from removing the power of destruction from the Fenrir's core fragment. Munch munch. She recovered her magic power by eating the elixir-grade cherry tomatoes given by Sejun. At that moment, how did Brachio find out? I don't know, but don't worry, I hid it well. What did you hide well? Brachio just came looking for me. I sent her away saying I was going to sleep. I should do the same if she comes to me. Kaiser, Kellyan, Ramter and Tyr entered the administrator area chatting. It was to inform Aileen about Brachio, who might come looking for her. As they were walking and talking. Swish. What's this? These all tower coins. There's so many. The 4 dragons excitedly noticed the tower coins they stumbled upon. Are these here? Cares about that, should we just pick them up? Sneakily. With greedy eyes, the 4 dragons reached for the tower coins scattered on the ground. However, those belong to Sejun. If you take them, you'll be banished from the Black Tower. Aileen sternly warned them, giving a glaring look. And then, collect. Swish. She quickly collected the tower coins on the ground into her own storage. The 4 dragons watched the disappearing tower coins with regret. A moment later. This is Fenrir's core fragment. Yes, it contains the power of destruction, and removing it produces tower coins. The dragons, having learned from Aileen where the tower coins came from, stared intently at the fragment of Fenrir's core she was holding. The thought of informing about Brachio had completely vanished from their minds. If we just have that tower coins. Ha-ha-ha. Yuha-ha-ha. Fa-ha-ha. Da-ha-ha. Kaiser, Kellyan, Ramter, and Tyr were counting their chickens before they hatched, celebrating before the person who's supposed to give them. The chicken has even thought about it. Granddaughter, we will help you remove the power of destruction. Yes, destruction is our enemy after all. But in return for our labor. How about 9-1? The dragons volunteered to help remove the power of destruction, eyeing the tower coins and naturally assuming they deserved the larger share. However, no. Aileen firmly refused the group of villains, tempted by Sejun's tower coins. 5-5, if you don't like it, I'll do it alone. Instead, she made a new proposal. But still, Tyr, who initially suggested a 9-1 split, tried to negotiate. Chug. But Kaiser, Kellyan, and Ramter, who had already accepted Aileen's proposal, started working on Fenrir's core fragment. And then, swish, they are coming out. Could easily make 500 million a day. If it's 5-5, that's 250 million each. They began extracting tower coins by removing the power of destruction. Traders. Click. Tyr quickly joined in, placing his hand on Fenrir's core fragment to remove the power of destruction. On the 84th floor of the Black Tower. Hut, we've arrived, meow. Theo arrived in front of the grand gate of the Cayman Kingdom. Bang. Hut, hand over the money, meow. He boldly entered, pushing open the gates with his front paws. Then, Pig. Soldiers gathered at the sound of the horn, surrounding the gate. Who are you? Do you know where this place is that you dare to invade? The soldiers surrounded Theo, shouting at him. Hut, if you ask who I am, I should answer. Theo was excited to introduce himself. However, who allowed such a lowly cat into the noble Cayman Kingdom's royal castle? A giant crocodile appeared, interrupting Theo's introduction. It was Princess Kelly Cayman, who could be considered the current heir to the throne of the Cayman Kingdom in Croaker's absence. And then, Kaiwo, did you just call Theonim a lowly cat, hellfire? Those were Kelly Cayman's last words. Quang. Hellfire melted Kelly Cayman and the Cayman Kingdom's castle behind her. Kaiwo. It's the Wizard of Destruction. It's the third stage of Kaiwo. Run away. The soldiers, realizing Iona's identity, started to flee. However, Hut, where do you think you're going, meow? Stamp this first, meow. Theo wasn't just going to watch them run away. Press. He pulled out a contract and collected the soldiers' stamps. Hut, I gained 100 more slaves, meow. Kaiwat, great job, Theonim. Hut, I know, meow. Theo felt proud as he looked at the contract stamped by the soldiers. Then, meow, but why do you all look like that, meow? Theo belatedly noticed the soldiers' conditions. They looked as though they hadn't eaten in days, all skin and bones. That's because Croaker had taken all the food for the war, leaving the soldiers and residents of the Cayman Kingdom starving. Then eat this, meow. Theo took out grilled fish from his bundle and handed it to the soldiers. Hut, you need to be healthy to work well, meow. Thank you. We'll eat well. Unaware of Theo's intentions, the soldiers were moved by his generosity and devoured the grilled fish eagerly. While the soldiers were eating. Now let's collect the compensation, meow. Kaiwat, yes. Theo and Iona headed towards the ruins of the Cayman Kingdom's castle. Iona hadn't obliterated the castle without any thought. She knew that a magically protected treasure vault lay underground, so she destroyed the castle without hesitation. Pew hut, I feel a pull from below, meow. Of course Theo felt it too. Snap! Theo unsheathed his dragon claws. Leap! He jumped into the sky. Meow 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 meow. And unleashed a storm of meow meow storm fist towards the ground. Boom! And thus, the entrance to the treasure vault was revealed. Pew hut, let's go, meow. Kaiwat, yes. Theo and Iona entered the treasure vault with excited expressions. During sleep, 10% of your life force has been stored. The life orb is 1.95% complete. Over 24 hours, 0.1 magic power has been accumulated. Your magic power has increased by 0.1. All right. As it became light around him, Sejun woke up and sprang to his feet. Then he hurried outside and... Swish! You have harvested 3219 grains of golden rice. Your job experience have slightly increased. Your proficiency of harvesting LV8 has slightly increased. Due to the cold energy imbued in the sickle of freshness, the shelf life of the harvested crops has increased by 5 days. You have gained 225,330 experience points. He began to cut the rice he had been eyeing since yesterday. This morning is all about rice. Swish. As Sejun was harvesting the rice. Kaying. My core. Fenrir woke up from his sleep, calling for his own core. Kaying. Hey, where are you? Thud. Fenrir went outside to find Sejun, who had his core. And then, Kaying. I found you, give back my core. Thud. Fenrir, having spotted Sejun cutting rice, ran towards him, wagging his tail vigorously. However, flinch. What's this? Why am I wagging my tail? He was soon puzzled by his own behavior. He should be furious for not getting his core back, but seeing that guy made him feel too good. This isn't right. I am the noble wolf Fenrir. Snap! Fenrir, having gathered his composure, held his head high and walked towards Sejun with dignity. Then, Blackie, you're awake. As Sejun turned towards Fenrir. Gulp! Fenrir, upon seeing Sejun's face, reflexively started salivating. And then, wag. His tail started wagging vigorously again. Kaying. Let's eat first. Hey, give me food. Snap! Deciding to deal with the core later, Fenrir quickly sat in front of Sejun's feet. Harbin, China. Yes, you've all been waiting for a long time. The statue of the golden bat, the divine beast that protected our Black Tower, will arrive soon. As the announcer spoke in the square in front of the Black Tower. Whoa! The crowd cheered. The people of Harbin considered the golden bat a divine beast for saving the Black Tower, and decided to express their gratitude by erecting a statue. And not just any statue, but one made entirely of pure gold. Shortly after, vroom! 3 golden statues, shaped like the golden bat, arrived on huge trucks. And then, click. Journalists began to take photos of the 3 statues to send to newspapers around the world. The golden bat using Pip Hoo. The golden bat using Pip Storm Fist. The golden bat using 1 Pip Slash. The names of the techniques used by the golden bat were vividly inscribed on the statues. It would have been a shock to the golden bat if it knew. If this news reached the tower through hunters, it might be dragged by Theo and Kyungi to have a serious conversation. However, wow, they made the statues look exactly the same. There was already someone who knew. Flamey peeked out her small roots around the Black Tower in Harbin, admiring the statue of the golden bat. Chapter 336, Chairman Park, help me, meow. Chomp. Our blackies, you eat well, want one more. As Sejun took out another dried sweet potato slice, while watching Fenrir eating enjoyingly. Kaying. Give me that one too. Fenrir, putting down the dried sweet potato slice he was eating, now eyed Sejun's dried sweet potato slice. He thought since he had already licked Ihai's own, nobody else would eat it. However, Kyung, what's this? A dried sweet potato? Num. Kyungi, who woke up from sleep and was hungry, quickly picked up the dried sweet potato slice that had fallen on the floor and ate it. And, Kikyahik Taeng. Hee, now I have 2 yellow and chewy ones. Having received the dried sweet potato slice from Sejun, Fenrir turned around only to find Kyungi eating his own. Kaeng. How dare you steal the yellow and chewy thing belonging to me, Fenrir, the first seed apostle of destruction and the god-hunting wolf. Fenrir was furious. Kaeng. Hey, he ate mine, punish him. Fenrir appealed to Sejun, expressing its grievance. Kyungi ate Blackie's, then you can just eat a new dried sweet potato slice. Kyungi, have one more. Kyuihe. Kikyihik. By giving Kyungi and Fenrir one dried sweet potato slice each, Sejun neatly resolved the situation. While Sejun was giving dried sweet potatoes to Kyungi and Fenrir. Kegwek. Crunch. The mushroom ants began to mill the rice that Sejun had harvested. Thanks, guys. Tab. You have harvested shiitake mushrooms. Your job experience increases very slightly. Your proficiency in harvesting LV8 has increased very slightly. You gained 1 experience point. Sejun expressed his gratitude while picking mushrooms off the backs of the mushroom ants. A little later, Sejun hummed through his nose, carrying the milled rice and mushrooms to the cooking area. Today's menu was mushroom nutritious rice 1, called pasasyangyangbap anus. He planned to add a fried egg and side dishes as accompaniments. In addition to mushrooms, he added ginkgo nuts and chestnuts to the nutritious rice. After Sejun put the rice on, soy sauce with Xinjiang chili peppers and crushed garlic, he began making the sauce. Just then, Tab. Hyung, what's for breakfast today? Rubbing his still sleepy eyes, Ajax flew over and clung to Sejun's shoulder. Mushroom nutritious rice, wanna taste this? Sejun responded, dipping his pinky finger into the sauce and putting it into Ajax's mouth. Smack. Hyung, it's delicious. Really? The rice is almost done, just wait a bit. Okay. Arilorung. Still drowsy, Ajax fell asleep hanging on Sejun's shoulder. Pad. Sejun patted Ajax's back as he waited for the rice to finish. Meanwhile, Kyung. Blackie, sit. If you listen well, I'll give you this. Kyungi was trying to make Blackie sit in exchange for a dried sweet potato, aiming to make him his subordinate. However, I, Fenrir, am a noble wolf. Once I decide on someone who feeds me, I don't change easily. Fenrir firmly closed its eyes to maintain its loyalty to Sejun, not looking. Kyung. This is something Blackie likes. Why aren't you doing it? While Fenrir was refusing the dried sweet potato that Kyungi was waving. Everyone, let's eat. Sejun called them. Kyung. Got it, Blackie is coming too. Responding to Sejun's call, Kyungi hurriedly picked Blackie and rushed to the cooking area. And, you mix in this seasoning sauce to eat. Kyung. Got it, thank you for the food. Yes, Hyung, thank you for the food. Yes, Sejunum, thank you for the food. Having heard Sejun's explanation, Kyungi, Ajax, and Veronica started to mix the sauce into their mushroom nutritious rice and began eating. Kyung. Haha, it's really tasty. There are also chestnuts in it. Sejun Hyung is a genius. Wow, Sejunum, it's really delicious. Endless praises poured in. Haha, praise me more. Sejun pretended not to listen, but he was pleased inwardly. At that moment, your soul feels fulfilled with the praises poured upon you. Mental strength has increased by 1. Along with the message, his mental strength increased. It's not just farming that can increase it. as Sejun took in this newly learned fact. Blackie, let's eat too. He scooped some nutritious rice in Fenrir's bowl, who had been waiting in front of his bowl for a while. Then, kaying. Just now another kid offered me food and begged me to eat it, but I refused. You should know you're lucky to be chosen by me. Fenrir told Sejun about what happened just before and slurp, touched the rice with its tongue. Fenrir's eyes widened simultaneously. It's so delicious. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Fenrir, enthralled by the taste of the mushroom nutritious rice, began to furiously eat with his nose buried in the bowl. And, haha, Blackie, you should know you're lucky. Because only I, Park Sejun, can make food this good, haha. Sejun looked down at Fenrir with a contented expression. Then, Kueha Kuang. Haha, Kuangi will eat one more bowl. I want one more bowl too. Huh. Sejun spotted the two approaching to scoop more rice. My rice. Sejun hurriedly began to scoop his own rice from the pot. 84th floor, treasure vault of the Cayman Kingdom. The inside was pitch dark. Due to forcibly entering through the ceiling of the treasure vault instead of the entrance, the magic that should have been activated was not triggered. Jonah, make it bright, meow. Kaiwat. Yes, just a moment. At Theo's request, Iona examined the surrounding magic circle and forcibly activated it. Uwang. The magic circle activated, and the treasure vault lit up. And splendidly shining golden statues welcomed Theo and Iona. However, meow. Theo ignored the welcoming gold and walked deeper into the treasure vault, drawn by a powerful attraction he felt inside. Creak. As he opened the door at the end of the room filled with gold statues, this time a room with various items appeared. This isn't it, meow. There was an attraction, but it wasn't the powerful pull that had drawn him. Theo passed through the second room as well. Creak. Thus, Theo opened the door that led to the third room. In the center of the third room, there was a massive altar, and in the middle of the altar stood a giant humanoid crocodile statue. Pew hut, there it is, meow. Theo's eyes sparkled seeing a green gem embedded in the statue's chest. I'll take that to Chairman Park, meow. Theonim, be careful. Yona shouted at Theo. She felt an ominous aura emanating from the statue. At that moment, Kuguang. The statue began to move. No, it crumbled apart. And from the statue flowed a sinister and dark aura. The dark energy roamed around Theo and Iona, and then entered Iona's body. However, who are you? There was already a resident inside. Nightmare, the demon king of nightmares, residing within Iona's mind, expelled the dark energy. The dark energy, driven out of Iona's body. Theonim, get away. While Iona was shouting, the dark energy entered Theo's body. Theonim. Iona, something's wrong with my body, miuhu. Thud. Theo lost consciousness. All my followers are dead. As the Cayman royal family, who had been giving him power, died out, the crocodile god Cayman was fading away. At that moment, he saw two figures entering his sanctuary. Kukuku, it seems the heavens have not abandoned me, the god of crocodiles Cayman. Cayman sneered bitterly as he looked at them. So he hurriedly gathered the energy contained in the statue and examined the bodies of the two. Both of them had bodies that could handle his power, especially feeling the immense magical power contained in the body of the white hamster. I choose you. Cayman decided to possess Iona's body right away. However, there was already a being with a will so powerful that even a god like him could not contend. I need to survive, so I have no choice. Thus, expelled from Iona's body, Cayman entered the next best option, the body of the cat nearby. Phew, that was close. Cayman breathed a sigh of relief, having entered a body before dissipating, and severed the connection between Theo's mind and body. Cuck. Now, I just need to eradicate the spirit occupying this body. The crocodile god Cayman laughed heartily as he looked down at Theo, who appeared very small. This was Theo's mental world. Cayman was the race god of crocodiles, and Theo was just a mere cat. The disparity was evident in their sizes. Meow, there's a mountain of grilled fish, meow, a pond of churu, meow. Theo, unaware of the situation, was distracted by all the grilled fish and churu around him. Since it was Theo's mental world, it was filled with everything Theo loved. At that moment, grab, meow. Cayman grabbed Theo by the scruff and brought him face to face. Meow, let go of me, meow, what are you, meow? Theo struggled and shouted at Cayman. Cuck, I am Cayman, the god of crocodiles. I will make good use of your body. How dare you attack Theo Park, the deadly dragon-clawed golden cat? I'll teach you a lesson, meow. Snap. Theo unsheathed his dragon claws. Whoosh, and swung his front paw fiercely. It was a one meow slash. However, ting, Theo's attack did not inflict any damage on Cayman. No matter how strong the dragon claws were in reality, in the mental world, they were only as strong as Theo's mental power. Meow 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 meow. Theo didn't give up and attacked Cayman again with his meow meow storm fist, but it caused no harm to Cayman. Cuck now disappear. As Cayman opened his mouth to swallow Theo. Chairman Park, help me, meow. Theo suddenly called for Sejun. Cuck, what nonsense are you saying? This is your mental world. No one can help you here. Cayman mocked Theo. It's not true, meow. Chairman Park is so great that he can do anything, meow. Theo boldly shouted back at Cayman. To Theo, a devout follower of Sejun's knees, Sejun was always an omnipotent being. Chairman Park always helps when I call him, meow. It was a response without logic or common sense. At that moment, thump thump, a huge shadow covered Cayman. It was the shadow of Sejun, so large that it almost filled Theo's mental world. Hut, I wish Chairman Park's knees were this big, meow. Normally, Theo wished in his heart for Sejun's knees to grow larger, and thus a giant Sejun was born within Theo's mental world. How can there be something so gigantic in the mental world? Cayman was bewildered as he looked up at the giant looking down on him. It was strange. No matter how weak the mind, it couldn't be as small as Theo's. But now he understood. Crazy to trust someone else more than himself, to such an absolute degree. Cayman couldn't comprehend, but to Theo, a devout follower of Sejun's knees, it was perfectly natural. While Cayman was bewildered. Hut, I knew Chairman Park would come to save me, meow. Giant Chairman Park, teach him a lesson, meow. Bang! With Theo's cry, the giant Sejun stepped on Cayman. And then, rumble! As if nothing had happened, Sejun created a new mountain of grilled fish and a pond of churu. It was safe to say that Sejun was recreating Theo's mental world. Hut, the knees of giant Chairman Park, meow. Excited Theo climbed the legs of the giant Sejun when. Meow, where did the knees of the giant Chairman Park go, meow? Theo, reconnected to his body, regained his senses and searched for the knees of the giant Sejun. And then, on the 99th floor of the tower, you have harvested a stamina corn. You have annihilated the spirit of Cayman, the race god of crocodiles. You gained 100 million experience points. You have achieved the feat of annihilating a race god. As a reward for the achievement, you have obtained the title, Godslayer. Suddenly, a message appeared in front of Sejun, who was humming and harvesting corn, that he had annihilated Cayman. Huh, I did. Chapter 337. Heh, did I unknowingly do something incredible? At the 99th floor of the Blue Tower. Thud. Greetings to the great blue dragon. A doll cloaked in a blue robe kneeled on one knee in front of a giant ice sculpture in the shape of a dragon, paying respects. Then, Zelga, what's the situation? The voice of Kin Aster, the leader of the Blue Dragons, emanated from the ice sculpture. The tower up to the 62nd floor is submerged in water, and signs of an ice age are apparent from the 20th floor. That's serious. Kin's voice deepened in response to the Blue Tower farmer, Zelga's report. While the Red Tower was accumulating the Red Dragon's fire energy, causing drought and desertification, the Blue Tower was accumulating the Blue Dragon's water energy, leading to heavy rains and ice age. How many elixir of fire are left? About 1,000,000. Not enough. At best, that will last about a year. I apologize. The production of elixir of fire has decreased as the land for cultivating fire blossom, the most crucial ingredient, has reduced. Elixir of fire, which Zelga produced through alchemy, played a role in creating intense heat that temporarily weakened the surrounding water energy when used. However, the duration of the heat was short, and its range was limited, only slightly delaying the approach of heavy rains and ice age. As the two continued their conversation. Understood, try a little harder for now. Yes, I will take my leave. The conversation ended without any significant outcomes. Me a godslayer. Sejun was unable to comprehend how he could have possibly slain a god. Was there a god in this corn named Cayman? Sejun briefly inspected the corn he had just harvested, but soon concluded. Now that can't be it. Then, is it Vice Chairman Theo again? When inexplicable events occurred, it usually involved Theo, so Sejun attributed it to Theo's doing. Crunch, crunch. You have harvested stamina corn. Your job experience has slightly increased. Your proficiency in harvesting LV8 has slightly increased. Due to the cold energy imbued in the sickle of freshness, the expiration date of the harvested crops has increased by 5 days. You have gained 70 experience points. Sejun continued harvesting corn. Moments later, I harvested quite a lot. Sejun felt pleased looking at the corn he had harvested. Your soul feels fulfilled. Your mental strength has increased by 1. Along with the message, his mental strength increased. All right, time to harvest some cherry tomatoes. Sejun then proceeded to harvest cherry tomatoes. And once the harvesting was complete, phew, that feels rewarding. Your soul feels fulfilled. Your mental strength has increased by 1. His mental strength increased again. Once the harvesting of both corn and cherry tomatoes was finished. Hyung, I caught a tuna. Thud. Ajax laid a gigantic tuna in front of Sejun with a proud expression. I caught such a big tuna, so praise me. Ajax, well done. Pad pad. Sejun stroked Ajax's head in praise. Hyung, make something delicious with this. All right, let's have tuna sashimi today. Okay, Hyung. Sejun began to prepare the tuna sashimi. Theo likes tuna too. I wonder when he'll show up. Sejun set aside some of Theo's favorite parts while waiting for him. 84th floor. Meow. Theo, regaining consciousness, lay sprawled on the floor with a gloomy expression. Kaiwat Theonim, what's wrong? Yona called out to him, worried. She was sure that the ominous energy had been extinguished, but Theo's condition was unusual. Yona, I had a dream, meow. Was it a nightmare? Yona, thinking it must have been a nightmare since Theo had been struggling against an enemy trying to escape. No, meow, it was a happy dream, meow. Kaiwat, then why are you sad? Because it's a dream that can't come true, meow. I woke up before I could hug the giant Chairman Park's knees, meow. Theo considered the incident in his mind realm as a dream. Kaiwat, 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 stop talking nonsense and let's hurry back. Sejun Nim is waiting for us. That's right, meow. I Vice Chairman Theo still have the real Chairman Park, meow. Enlightened by Yona's words, Theo chuckled. Now that he thought about it, all he needed to do was to make Chairman Park grow huge, meow. This is all thanks to the inspiration I got from Yona, meow. Kaiwat, 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 really? Phew Hugh Hut, yes, meow. Thus, Theo started the gigantification project for Sejun. Chairman Park is great, so he can be enlarged, meow. Phew Hugh Hut, first I'll take this, meow. Grab. The fully motivated Theo picked up the green gem from the statue of the crocodile god, Cayman. Iona, collect the items from the first room, meow. Kaiwat, 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 yes. Following Theo's instructions, Iona gathered the golden statues from the first room. Phew Hugh Hut, wait for me, Chairman Park, meow. I Vice Chairman Theo am bringing good stuff, meow. Theo also packed items from the second room into his bundle. Phew Hugh Hut, done, meow. Kaiwat, 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 I'm done too. Thus, Theo and Iona completely cleared out the treasury. Phew Hugh Hut, let's go quickly, meow. Kaiwat, 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 yes. Theo and Iona headed to the 99th floor of the tower. And the Cayman Kingdom, which lost its racial god, royalty, capital, and treasures, quietly vanished from the 84th floor of the Black Tower. Brachionim, I apologize. Tier Nim is currently asleep. Tier 2 understood. After visiting the white and red towers, Brachio dropped by the purple tower. There's definitely something suspicious. Unable to shake her suspicion that something was off, Brachio. I'll have to visit the Black Tower as a last resort. Brachio flew to the Black Tower, not giving up. This time, she planned to meet Aileen, the administrator of the Black Tower, instead of Kaiser. She thought it would be easier to deal with the younger Aileen. And so, upon arriving at the Black Tower's administrator area, Brachio was greeted by Aileen. Grandma Brachio, hello, are you here to trade? Aileen received her warmly. Kikiki, our Sejun's customer base has grown. Trade? Yes, if you want to trade with our Sejun first, the contract end. Aileen explained the detailed method for trading with Sejun to Brachio. These guys, were they buying samyangju and black beans among themselves? Thanks to that, Brachio understood why the other dragons were so diligent in cleaning the red mist. But what is this? I feel the power of destruction here. Ah, that's when Aileen started explaining about the fragment of Fenrir's core. I see, so we just need to split the drop tower coins 50-50, right? Yes, all the grandpas did that too. Understood. As Brachio was about to infuse magic into Fenrir's core fragment. Kahaha, shall we make some money? Brachio, why are you here? Don't tell me. Kaiser, Kellyan, Ramter, and Tyr entered the administrator area and found Brachio with her hand on Fenrir's core piece. Ho ho ho, these traitors. Brachio laughed as she looked at them, then became serious. And, Wung. Brachio infused magic into Fenrir's core fragment, instantly annihilating the destruction contained within. For the original form of Brachio, it was an all-too-easy task. Clatter. That's not fair. My tower coins. This is cheating. The four dragons despaired as tower coins poured into the administrator area. Slurp. While Sejun was enjoying his coffee time after lunch. The tower's administrator says that the power of destruction within Fenrir's core fragment has been completely annihilated. Aileen returned the item she had appraised. Really, thanks. Sejun expressed his gratitude to Aileen and checked the options of the black orb that appeared in his hand. Purified Fenrir's core fragment. Although the name changed as the power of destruction was removed, the color of the orb remained the same. Purified Fenrir's core fragment. This is a fragment Fenrir's core, the god-hunting wolf and first seat among apostle of destruction. This fragment contains 0.01% of the complete core's power. With the power of destruction completely removed, the power contained within the core has significantly diminished. Upon consumption, all stats increase by 1,000. If there are other fragments of Fenrir's core nearby, they will be attracted to each other. Usage restriction. All stats must be over 5,000. Grade unmeasurable. Despite the reduced power, it still increases all stats by 1,000. Well, it's great, but it's too great that I can't use it. The usage restriction requires all stats to be over 5,000, which was too high a condition for Sejun. As Sejun was feeling disappointed. A quest has been generated. 10th Tower Quest. Use the purified Fenrir's core fragment to find other fragments of Fenrir's core and secure the other 4 pieces of the gate that leads to the 10th tower to restore the gate. Reward, all stats plus 300, 1 job combat skill. A quest message appeared. The reward was an increase in all stats by plus 300 and another chance to gain a job combat skill. But where do I start looking? Sejun said, holding the black orb in his hand. No attraction was felt from Fenrir's core fragment, perhaps because there were no other core fragments nearby. Do I just have to wander around? As Sejun pondered how to complete the 10th tower quest. Do you wish to support Tower Farmer Park Sejun in completing the 10th tower quest? An alarm appeared in the crystal orb, managing the Black Tower's administrator area. Kikiki, of course. If not me, who else will support our Sejun? Aileen readily agreed. For the completion of the 10th tower quest, the use of the destruction detector is temporarily transferred to Black Tower Administrator Aileen Pratani. You have acquired the usage rights to the destruction detector. Along with the message, a new function was added to the crystal orb. Kikiki, Sejun, just wait a little, I'll find everything for you. Aileen hurriedly started using the crystal orb to locate the power of destruction. And Black Tower's administrator Aileen Pratani accepts to support you in the 10th tower's quest. A message appeared in front of Sejun. Aileen. Thanks to this, Sejun also learned that Aileen was participating in the quest. The tower's administrator is pleased to join you in the quest. The tower's administrator confidently says she will find all other locations of Fenrir's cores for you. Okay, thanks. With Aileen's help, Sejun didn't have to wander through all the floors. Aileen, is there any snack you want to eat? He decided to support Aileen with snacks. The tower's administrator says she would like to eat the pancakes you make. Got it, just a moment. Sejun went to the kitchen to fetch flour and butter and started making pancake batter. Sizzle. He began cooking the pancakes. At that moment, stealthily, Vice Chairman Theo, you're here. Sejun greeted Theo, without even turning around as Theo approached him from behind. Meow, that's no fun, meow. Slap. Theo grumbled as he clung to Sejun's leg. And then, swoosh swoosh. He vigorously rubbed his face against Sejun's knee. Phew hut. Chairman Park's knee, I missed you, meow. Right, Vice Chairman Theo, did something happen when you went down there? Suddenly, there was a message saying that I killed a god named Cayman. Phew hut, that's because meow. Chairman Park saved me in my dream, meow. Theo still believed that his encounter with Cayman and the gigantic Sejun was a dream. He excitedly explained to Sejun what had happened in his mind realm. So it happened. Heh, did I unknowingly do something great? Phew hut, yes, meow. Chairman Park is amazing, meow. The two readily accepted the absurd idea that dreams and reality could be connected. Chairman Park, will you save me again next time, meow? Of course, just trust me. No matter where, I'll save Vice Chairman Theo. Phew hut, got it, meow. Vice Chairman Theo trusts only Chairman Park, meow. Theo's faith in Sejun grew even stronger. Vice Chairman Theo, are you hungry? Eat this, I made it today. Sejun spooned out some churu made from the tuna he had set aside and brought it to Theo's mouth. Phew hut, thanks, meow. Chomp chomp chomp. Indeed, the churu made by Chairman Park is the best, meow. Theo became an even more devout follower as he ate the churu Sejun had prepared. Chapter 338. Dragon Youngling, you're happy simply because I'm playing with you. Black Tower's administrator area. Kihihi, the pancakes Sejun gave me are delicious. Wait a bit, Sejun, I will find them all for you. Aileen enjoyed the pancakes while using the destruction detector to search for the powers of destruction in the Black Tower. After Brachio left, the dragons who had been seriously discussing in a corner approached. And, my granddaughter, don't you think it's cheating for Brachio to have come in her true form? Kaiser spoke up as their representative. Right, who doesn't have a true form? Exactly, we should be fair. Therefore, we, the Four Dragons Council, proposed the expulsion of Brachio. Behind them, supporting the notion, were Kellyan, Ramter, and Tyr. The four, usually bickering among themselves, united under the name Four Dragons Council to call for the expulsion of Brachio. They were seriously talking in the corner and ended up creating a name. Thus, under the guise of fairness, these dragons aimed to remove Brachio from the competition. However, I refuse. For Aileen, it was an absurd request. Grandma Brachio is also our Sejun's customer. As expected, my granddaughter, you're stubborn just like me. Kaiser was pleased as he looked at Aileen, who, despite the words of the four clan leaders, didn't falter and spoke her mind. Hey, Kaiser, is this the time to be pleased? Should we also come in our true forms? That would attract too much attention. Right, that would be too dangerous. If the leaders of four dragon clans gathered, it would not only attract the attention of other dragon clans, but also potentially that of destruction itself. How about we talk to our Sejun about it? Let's do that. If our Sejun talks to Aileen, she will understand. Right, speaking of which, it's about time we bought Samyangju from Sejun. I also need to get a detoxifying green onion from our Sejun. The four dragons hurried off to find Sejun. After making pancakes for Aileen. Meow meow meow. Shoop shoop. You have harvested a sturdy carrot. Your job experience has increased slightly. Your proficiency in harvesting LV8 has slightly increased. You have gained 70 experience points. Sejun, with Theo hanging on his leg, harvested the sturdy carrots. I want to get closer to Sejun Hyung too. Ajax looked enviously at the two, feeling a strong bond between them. At that moment, thud thud, kicky hit kaying. Hee, this carrot is so hard it's perfect for scratching my teeth. Ajax saw Fenrir, chewing on one of the sturdy carrots Sejun had harvested and running away with it. If I play with Blackie, Sejun Hyung will like it, right? Thinking it would help him get closer to his Hyung, Ajax found a way to bond with Sejun. Snap! Ajax picked up a stick to play with Fenrir. Blackie fetch! And threw it to Fenrir. However, crunch crunch. Busy grinding his teeth on the sturdy carrot, Fenrir ignored him. Blackie, I said fetch that. When Ajax pointed to the stick and told him again. Kaying. Humph, you a dragon want to play with me? No way. Fenrir scoffed at him and continued chewing on the carrot. Eek, Blackie, fetch it. No matter what Ajax said, Fenrir just kept grinding his teeth. Seeing his plan to get closer to Sejun failing. Yuha, I wanted to be closer with Sejun Hyung. Ajax whimpered. Kaying. So you really want to play that badly? Can't be helped then. I'll play with you. Thud thud. Misinterpreting Ajax's crying as a desire to play with him badly, Fenrir finally picked up the stick and brought it over. Hey, it's fun because I play with you, right? Here, Blackie fetch. Kaying. Dragon youngling, you're happy simply because I'm playing with you. Thus, Ajax and Fenrir thought they were playing with each other and had a great time. Playing with Blackie isn't too bad. Playing with this dragon kid isn't bad either. Unintentionally, the two became friends. In the meantime, I've harvested quite a lot. Sejun felt proud as he looked at the sturdy carrots he had harvested. Your soul feels fulfilled. Your mental strength increases by 1. His mental strength had increased. Now I need to harvest potatoes. As Sejun went to the potato field, which was his next target, and started harvesting potatoes. What has our Sejun been up to? Kaiser and the other dragons came looking for Sejun. I'm harvesting potatoes, but what brings you here? We. Kaiser started speaking on behalf of the group in response to Sejun's question. So, you're saying to ban Green Dragon Brachio from entering the Black Tower? Exactly. I don't like that idea. It's good for me if there's even one more person to buy my crops. When Sejun refused. Then we will sell to the other dragons for you. Right, we'll sell to the other dragons for you. The dragons offered an alternative, trying to persuade Sejun. Of course, they intended to take a commission in the process. However, that's not possible. Sejun refused. It was too obvious what the dragons intended to do with his crops. At that moment, Hut, that's right, Meow. Only I, Vice Chairman Theo, the right hand of Chairman Park, can sell Chairman Park's goods, Meow. Theo supported Sejun's stance and stepped forward. And then, Theo, you. That's right, Meow. It's going to be an auction, Meow. Theo declared that he would open an auction house to sell Sejun's crops to the 9 dragon tribes. Wow! Sejun's imagination soared at Theo's words. Theo in front of the 9 dragon tribes, selling his crops. Just the thought made his heart swell with pride. Auction? Then it's going to cost a lot of money. Need to make the kids work harder. Don't we have anything to sell? The dragons hurried back to the fountain to come up with a plan to gather tower coins. Meanwhile, the name of the auction house was decided. Dragon Market. The cheesy name, Dragon Market, was obviously coined by Sejun's cheesy nomming sense. Heh, well done, Vice Chairman Theo. Hut, I know, Meow. Pleased with Sejun's praise, Theo laid down belly up. Pet me here, Meow. Swoosh, swoosh. But Theo, what do we do now? While petting Theo's belly, Sejun asked him about the plans for Dragon Market. However, Meow, of course I, Vice Chairman Theo, don't know, Meow, but it will all go well, Meow. Theo looked at Sejun as if asking why he was asking him that, clearly having no plan. Ah, right, he was always like this. Sejun chided himself for expecting too much from Theo and pondered how to manage Dragon Market. First, where should the location be? As Sejun was contemplating, Hyung, you're opening an auction house. I'll help too. Ajax, having tired Blackie out with fetch, now flew over while holding him as he slept. It would be great if Ajax helps. Yes, I'll help a lot. At that moment, da-da-da-da. Kyungi will help too. Kyungi, who had returned from the herb garden, also shouted. Thus, with Kyungi and Ajax joining as staff for the Dragon Market. The tower's administrator says she has detected the power of destruction. Aileen found the power of destruction. The tower's administrator says the power of destruction is detected on the 49th floor of the tower. 49th floor, then let's go down there now. Sejun, already troubled by the Dragon Market, went down the tower to clear his mind. A little while later, you have arrived at the 49th floor of the Black Tower. You moved from the top floor 99th to the 49th floor. You have descended 50 floors. Due to the effect of tidal, retrogressor, all stats increase by 50. Sejun arrived at the 49th floor. Hello, Sejunim. Horned Mole Dooku, the boss mole of the 49th floor who is guarding the waypoint, greeted Sejun. Yes. Sejun greeted Dooku back and then. Snap. He took out the purified fragment of Fenrir's core. However, there was no reaction at all. What's going on? Is it because we're too far away, Toryang? Sejun called Toryang while holding the fragment of Fenrir's core and started wandering around the 49th floor. Wow, these have grown well. Sejun remarked as he looked at the vast field of sturdy blade green onions, seemingly endless. These were the ones he had planted before. In between the rows of green onions, moles were busily harvesting them. A short while later, as they passed the green onion field, Sejun's eyes caught sight of persimmon trees with ripe persimmons. Wow, let's pick some persimmons. You have harvested a persimmon. Your job experience has increased very slightly. Your proficiency in harvesting LV8 has slightly increased. You have gained 1 experience point. Naturally, Sejun went to the farm to start harvesting the perfectly ripe persimmons. How could he pass by such well-ripened fruits? Kyung. Had tasty. Had sweet. as Sejun and his companions were excitedly picking and eating the persimmons. Kiki-hit kaying. Hee, I found my core. Thud, thud. While Sejun was distracted harvesting persimmons, Fenrir, who had woken up from a nap, grabbed his core in his mouth and ran off. Sejun had placed the core fragment together with Fenrir. And then, numb, Fenrir, having reached a secluded spot, swallowed his core. However, you do not meet the usage restrictions to consume this. Kaying. Why can't I swallow it if it's my core? As the aura of destruction was removed, Fenrir's core fragment did not recognize its owner. Kaying. Hey, it's me, your owner. While Fenrir was trying to swallow the core. Ting. Kaying. The core he was chewing slipped and bounced out of his mouth. Rolling. And started rolling down the sloped ground. Kaying. No. Thud, thud. Fenrir hurriedly chased after the rolling core fragment. Tasty, huh? Where did our Blackie go? Sejun, while eating the persimmons, belatedly realized that Fenrir, who should have been sleeping in his pocket, was gone. And so was Fenrir's core fragment. Did Blackie take it with him? Kyungi, please find Blackie. Kyung. Okay. Sniff, sniff. Following Sejun's request, Kyungi used his nose to sniff out and track Fenrir's scent. As Sejun was searching for Fenrir. Kaying. Stop right there. Fenrir was eagerly chasing after the core fragment. At that moment, Kugung. This is Lord Fenrir's energy. Violet, the 11th seed of the Apostles of Destruction and the Amethyst Giant, hidden underground, sensed the power of Fenrir's core fragment and rose up. Kaying. Violet, nice to see you. It's me, the Fenrir, the noble wolf. Fenrir barked happily upon seeing Violet. However, what is this creature? Violet did not recognize Fenrir. And then, Cuckoo, but is this Lord Fenrir's core? Violet shifted focus from Fenrir to the core fragment containing Fenrir's power, eyeing it with greed. If I just eat this. As Violet was about to absorb Fenrir's core fragment. Kaying. It's mine. Fenrir quickly grabbed the core fragment in his mouth and started running. However, thud, thud. His short legs couldn't carry him fast enough. He hardly made it as far as Violet's feet. Little, hand it over. Violet extended her fist towards Fenrir. There was no need to regulate its strength since the core couldn't be broken. At that moment, stop, along with Sejun's shout. Meow 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 meow. Kyungi's new technique, Kyungi Destroyer Punch. Giga Thunder. Theo, Kyungi, and Ajax unleashed their attacks on Violet. Clink. With that, Violet dropped purple coins and vanished. And then, Blackie, why did you wander off alone? And you would have been in big trouble if you ate that. Kaying. My core. In the end, Fenrir had his core fragment taken away by Sejun again. Fenrir was indeed the master of team kills, accidentally causing more harm to allies than enemies. Chapter 339, Phew, I survived. The tower's administrator says that the power of destruction she discovered has been extinguished. The tower's administrator says that it seems the other apostle of destruction are also detectable with the destruction detector. The tower's administrator apologizes for being unable to help. It's okay. These things happen. If it weren't for Aileen, we wouldn't have even gotten this far. Sejun comforted Aileen, who felt sorry, and they returned to the 99th floor of the tower. You have arrived at the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Toryang. Master. Sejun called Toryang to return to the farm. Kugugung. On their way back to the farm riding Toryang. Gororong. Kurorong. Arorong. Kirorong. Pad. Aileen, do you think she arrived by now? Sejun, petting the sleeping Theo, Kyungi, Ajax, and Blackie in turns, asked Aileen. The tower's administrator says that Grandma Brachio should have arrived at the Green Tower by now. Has that good? At Aileen's response, Sejun smirked mischievously. The tower's administrator also smiles, saying she's also looking forward to the revenge. Aileen smiled ominously alongside Sejun, the two scheming something together. A few hours earlier, when Brachio arrived at the administrative area of the Black Tower, Aileen asked Sejun if they should make a deal with Brachio. It was because Brachio had once tried to kidnap Sejun using a land deed as a trap. Haha, treat her well, and at the end give her elixir-grade cherry tomatoes. I Park Sejun am a man with a big heart, as if I return what I receive doubled. I'll take my revenge on the kidnapping with kidnapping. The tower's administrator says she understands. Aileen, who immediately grasped Sejun's intention, kindly explained how they would conduct the trade, which eased Brachio's wariness. And then, Grandma Brachio, this is a gift. Please try planting these. Aileen handed over 100 elixir-grade cherry tomatoes to Brachio. Ho ho ho, thank you, dear. Unaware that they were actually bombs, Brachio took the elixir-grade cherry tomatoes back to the Green Tower. The moment she plants those tomatoes, something unimaginable will happen. Heh. As Sejun eagerly awaited the fruition of his sweet revenge. Master, we have arrived. Toryang announced their arrival at the farm. Yeah, thanks guys, wake up, it's time to eat. Sejun, holding Theo, Kyungi, Ajax, and Blackie, headed to the kitchen. Thump thump. Pew Hugh Hut, Chairman Park, take care of your face, meow. It's almost rotting, meow. Theo kneaded Sejun's face and Kyungi's massage will make Dad stronger. Hehe, Hyung, I'll give you a massage too. Kyungi and Ajax took turns massaging Sejun's shoulders. Kirorong. Fenrir was still asleep, exhausted from running hard earlier. Receiving massages from the three, Sejun reached the kitchen. Wait for a bit. Sejun hurriedly took out a pot and some corn to start cooking. Chiek. First, he melted butter in the heated pot, then added the steamed corn cob, stirred it to ensure the butter soaked in thoroughly. Sprinkle, sprinkle. For a perfect mix of salty and sweet, he sprinkled a little salt. Poke. Finally, he skewered the buttery, salted corn. You have achieved the achievement of making sweet salty corn butter skewers for the first time in the tower. The recipe for salty sweet corn butter skewers has been registered under Cooking LV 8. Your proficiency of Cooking LV 8 has slightly increased. Your proficiency of Cooking LV 8 has filled, advancing to Cooking LV 9. With the effect of Cooking LV 9, you can now enhance the effects of cooking ingredients. From now on, the effects of ingredients used in cooking will increase by 5%. Tonight's dinner menu is complete. Oh, the effects of the cooking ingredients have increased by 5%. Sejun read the message and was pleased. If it works as described, a 1 would increase to 1.05. It's not a huge difference, but it's significant when you eat 3 meals a day. Thus, Sejun was able to make slightly more effective dishes. Poke. For Theo, he skewered a few pieces of fish on some of the skewers. A moment later. Guys, let's eat. When Sejun placed a plate piled with corn on the table. Kyung. Thank you for the meal. Hehe, Hyung, thank you for the food. Kyungi and Ajax started eating, holding one corn on their both hands. Pew Hugh Hut, the grilled fish filled with Chairman Park's devotion is delicious, meow. Theo also enjoyed the grilled fish, sitting on Sejun's lap. Shall I try some too? Chug. Sejun picked up a corn skewer and bit into it. Whoosh. First, the rich scent of butter enveloping the corn kernels filled his mouth. As he chewed the corn kernels, the sweetness and saltiness melded seamlessly with the butter and corn, creating a unified flavor. After dinner. Hehe, it should be about time for that message to appear. He waited for the message, indicating that his revenge had been successful. However, yawned. Even though he waited, the message did not appear. Sejun had underestimated the dragon's laziness. Meow Chairman Park, let's sleep meow. Should we? In the end, Sejun, tired of waiting, took the whining Theo to the bedroom. Ararong. Keikirarong. Ajax and Fenrir were comfortably sprawled out in a big, Chinese letter shape in the middle of the bed. Chug chug. Sejun lifted them up, settled in the middle, and placed Ajax and Blackie on his left and right end. Care. Soon as his head hit the pillow, he fell asleep. 99th floor of the Green Tower. Him. Whisk whisk. Ophelia hummed a little tune, while randomly throwing corn seeds onto the ground. And then, grow. She used the tower farmer's skill, infusing magic power into the soil. Then, buttock. The corn seeds rapidly took root on their own and grew quickly. A little later. Good, now it's time to harvest. Ophelia began to harvest the fully grown corn, and the harvesting was done in an instant. Great, I've reached harvesting level 7. As expected, I, Ophelia, am the best tower farmer. Ophelia looked proud as she viewed the harvested corn. However, if Sejun had seen it, he would have shaken his head disapprovingly. Because although she planted 1,000 corn seeds, she only harvested a mere 50 ears of corn. If it had been Sejun's field, planting 1,000 corn seeds would have yielded at least 20,000 ears of corn. While Ophelia was proud of her 50 ears of corn. Ophelia, come up here for a moment. Yes, Grandma. Brachio called Ophelia. All right. During sleep, 10% of your life force was stored. The life orb is 2.1% complete. Over 24 hours, 0.1 magic power has been accumulated. Your magic power has increased by 0.1. When Sejun woke up and saw the message, he was smiling. The tower's administrator says that she have detected the power of destruction on floors 57 and 62 of the tower. Aileen, who had been waiting for Sejun to wake up, informed him of the locations of the power of destruction she had found. Floors 57 and 62. Coincidentally, both were floors without land deeds. Then there were only two options. Either find a land deed for Sejun to go, or have someone take a piece of Fenrir's core and go down to check. Gorarung. As he thought this, Sejun gazed thoughtfully at Theo sleeping on his lap. You're it. Good luck, Vice Chairman Theo. After feeding him breakfast, Sejun decided to send Theo down. I should pack something nice for him. He decided to pack a lunch for Theo, who would be suffering in his stead. After preparing Theo's favorite grilled fish and homemade tuna churro. Dada. Sejun finally chopped the fish meat, added eggs, and shaped it into balls with his hands. He then steamed them. They were fish balls. A little later, as the fishy smell filled the surroundings. Meow, I smell something delicious, meow. Theo woke up stretching. Vice Chairman Theo, are you awake? Pew Hut, yes, meow. Did Chairman Park sleep well, meow? No, I couldn't sleep well because I was worried. Sejun lied to make it easier to send Theo down willingly. However, meow, really meow. For someone who didn't sleep, Chairman Park's face isn't very rotten, meow. Theo was oddly sharp about weird things. Vice Chairman Theo, you can tell that. Pew Hut, yes, meow. Right now, Chairman Park's face is just rotten enough to be able to look at, meow. What does just rotten enough to be able to look at even mean? Sejun pondered Theo's incomprehensible aesthetic standards when. Kyung. It smells delicious. Kyungi entered the kitchen. Kyungi, did you sleep well? Kyung. Did Daddy also sleep well? Yeah, now, go bring Ajax and Blackie since it's time to eat. Kyung. Understood. Dada. At Sejun's command, Kyungi hurried to the bedroom. Ararong. Keikirarong. And came back carrying Ajax and Blackie on his shoulder. He really just brought them as told. Chug chug. Kyungi placed them in their respective spots and plop. sat down in his own place looking at Sejun, ready to eat. All right, let's eat. While Sejun was putting food on the table. Huh. Kaying. Ajax and Fenrir woke up to the smell of food. Oh, it's breakfast. Kaying. It's food. Naturally, both were thrilled to see food right in front of them as soon as they opened their eyes. After everyone ate breakfast. Here, Vice Chairman Theo, take this. Sejun handed a lunchbox to Theo as he spoke. Chairman Park, what is this, meow? Theo asked as he took it. It's a lunchbox. You need to go to floors 57 and 62 of the tower. As Sejun was explaining what Theo needed to do. Peep Young. Uncle, I'm here. Black Rabbit arrived with an enormous number of rabbits. Thanks to the messenger bird Piat, who properly conveyed Sejun's instructions to send rabbits to be tenant farmers at the Red Ribbon Kingdom to the 99th floor of the tower. Peep-eek. Peep-ip. The rabbits surrounded Sejun, each eager to become his tenant farmer first. All right, everyone, line up in 2 rows. Jug. You have designated the 5012th tenant farmer. Jug. You have designated the 5013th tenant farmer. Sejun placed his hands on the heads of the rabbits, designating them as tenant farmers. And then, Pew Hut, Chairman Park, this lunchbox is delicious, meow. Theo ate his lunchbox while watching Sejun work. You have designated the 8272nd tenant farmer. You have designated the 8273rd tenant farmer. As Sejun busily designated the rabbits as tenant farmers. It has been confirmed that Ophelia Iorg, the tower farmer of the Green Tower, planted the elixir, cherry tomatoes imbued with powerful magic power without permission. Finally, the message Sejun had been waiting for appeared. According to the tower's laws, a tower farmer who plants a crop with exclusive cultivation rights without permission must work under the holder of those rights for 100 years. According to the tower's laws, Ophelia Iorg, the tower farmer of the Green Tower, will now work under Sejun Park, the tower farmer of the Black Tower, for the next 100 years. Hehe, revenge successful. Now I'll kidnap you, Ophelia. As Sejun was delighted and about to summon the enslaved Ophelia. According to job traits, you borrow 0.2% of Ophelia Iorg's stats from the Green Tower. You have gained strength 340, stamina 400, agility 240, magic power 300. A message appeared indicating that his stats had increased due to his job trait. And, somewhat, Sejun hurriedly stopped the summoning. The stats had increased too significantly. This meant that Ophelia's stats were incredibly high. And it meant that summoning her could mean death for him. Phew, I survived. Sejun, having survived yet another day, let out a sigh of relief. Chapter 340, Why Do I Feel Chilly? Green Tower, 99th floor. Ophelia, after meeting Brachio, returned. Humming to herself, she looked at the elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power held in her hand. Aileen, what was she thinking giving these seeds to Grandma? Ophelia muttered incomprehensibly while examining the options of the cherry tomatoes. If you have such good crops, you should grow them yourself. Why give them away to others? And then, Hohihi, Aileen, thank you. The great tower farmer Ophelia Iorg will grow these well and eat them. Swoosh. She laughed as she threw all the cherry tomatoes on the ground and said, Grow. She channeled magic power into the ground and used a skill. Then, crack, the cherry tomato seeds rapidly took root in the ground. At that moment, you have planted the crops of Park Sejun, the tower farmer of the Black Tower who has exclusive cultivation rights without permission. According to the tower's laws, Ophelia Iorg of the Green Tower will now be a slave of Park Sejun, the tower's farmer from the Black Tower, for the next 100 years. A message appeared. What, the great green dragon me a slave? Ophelia became enraged upon seeing the message. Who dares to enslave me? But there was more to come. You have unlawfully planted 30,000 seeds of park, Sejun's exclusive crops without permission. The nature of your crime is very severe. Your slavery period is extended by an additional 200 years. Why, Grandma? Shocked by the message, Ophelia went to find Brachio while crying. Sejun was relieved that he didn't summon Ophelia and survived. Plop. Kaying. Hey, give me something to eat. Fenrir demanded a snack as he sat in front of Sejun. Haha, Blackie, you just survived thanks to me. Sejun said arrogantly to Fenrir. It wasn't because he was about to die that he didn't summon Ophelia, but all for Blackie. Sejun tried to claim a mental victory like that. Kaying. What are you saying? Just give me the food. Fenrir ignored Sejun's words and barked for food immediately. Then, Ophelia Iorg, the tower farmer of the Green Tower. The nature of the crime is very severe. Slavery period is extended by an additional 200 years. A new message appeared in front of Sejun. Hehe, should have planted them in moderation. Oh, so there was something like this too. What a pity. I should have given her more, Sejun thought with a sly grin. Here, Blackie, eat a lot. Sejun, in a good mood, pulled out 2 dried sweet potato slices from his pocket and gave them to Fenrir. Kaying. 2 yellow and chewy ones. Chomp. Our Blackie, you eat so well. Sejun said while watching Fenrir, who pressed 1 dried sweet potato slice under his belly so no one could take it away, and held the other with his 2 front paws, eating it diligently. So cute. Just as Sejun was about to designate the remaining rabbits as tenant farmers with a satisfied expression while watching Fenrir. What's this? Sejun felt a burning gaze directed at him. Peep-pip. The rabbits lined up in 2 rows were drooling while looking at Sejun. We want to eat too. Vice Chairman Theo, help me out. Pew hut, okay, meow. At Sejun's call, Theo hurriedly packed his lunchbox in his bundle and ran over. And then, you have designated the 10,441st tenant farmer. You have designated the 10,442nd tenant farmer. As Sejun continued designating tenant farmers. Pew hut, here it is, meow. Theo, sitting on Sejun's lap, handed out dried sweet potato slices to each of the rabbits that had become tenant farmers. Shortly after, you have designated the 15,112th tenant farmer. Done. Sejun finished designating tenant farmers for the rabbits brought by Black Rabbit. Pew hut, no rush, meow. There's still plenty of dried sweet potato slices left, meow. However, Theo's task of distributing the dried sweet potatoes was not yet finished. This was because there were still rabbits who had become tenant farmers, but had not received their sweet potatoes and were lined up. Kaying. If I line up here, can I eat the yellow and chewy things? I want to eat too. Fenrir tried to line up behind the rabbits to receive dried sweet potato slices, but peep-pip. He was pushed out of line by the hips of the other rabbits in line. Kaying. That's my spot. Fenrir tried to push his head back among the rabbits, but he couldn't push them away with his strength. Kaying. I can't believe I'm losing to these guys. Pushed away by the rabbits, Fenrir felt his pride hurt and dejectedly went back to Sejun. Kaying. Punish them. Hey, how can you feel wronged when you were the one being greedy? Come here. Sejun picked up the whining Fenrir and put him in his pocket, along with the core fragment that Fenrir likes. Kaying. My core, I'm going to eat it this time. While Fenrir was busily wrestling with the core fragment in Sejun's pocket. You can remotely issue a simple command once a day to Ophelia Iorg, the tower farmer of the distant Green Tower. Should I make our slave work? Since she can't be summoned, Sejun thought to command her remotely, just like he did with Ajax. Currently available tasks you can assign to Ophelia Iorg, the tower farmer of the Green Tower. Harvest and offer elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful and mighty magic power, 0205 pieces. Powerful and mighty. The name of the cherry tomatoes had changed. What changed, I wonder? Although the number of cherry tomatoes needed to be harvested was too small, he thought they would continue to grow over time. Hehe, slave, get to work. Eager to receive the cherry tomatoes, Sejun quickly issued the task to Ophelia. But Ophelia Iorg of the Green Tower refuses the command. It seemed typical for dragons not to follow orders immediately. You can punish Ophelia Iorg of the Green Tower, who refused the command. Water baptism, fire baptism, stone baptism, tickling. Which punishment should I choose? Since water, fire, and stone won't have much impact, should I pick tickling like I did with Ajax? Sejun pondered which punishment to inflict on Ophelia. Just then, Sejun Hyung, Sister Ophelia really hates heat. Ajax, who was harvesting potatoes nearby, flew over and gave some useful information. Really, she hates heat. Then let's go with the fire baptism. Sejun decided to punish Ophelia with a fire baptism. Ophelia Iorg of the Green Tower is given a fire baptism for refusing the command. A moment later, Ophelia Iorg of the Green Tower has harvested one elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful and mighty magic power. Following Ajax's advice, as soon as the fire baptism was applied to the heat-hatting Ophelia, she started working. Ophelia Iorg of the Green Tower offers one elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful and mighty magic power to Park Sejun of the Black Tower. One elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful and mighty magic power is stored in the temporary storage of the Green Tower. The harvested crop was offered to Sejun. To transport less than 100 kg of crops from the Green Tower to the Black Tower, 8 million tower coins are needed for transport costs. Would you like to proceed? The following message appeared. 8 million tower coins. Not 1 million. Sejun double-checked the amount to make sure he hadn't read it wrong. But it was indeed 8 million tower coins. Why is the transport cost so expensive? Hyung, maybe it's because the Green Tower is far away. Far away? Ajax cleared up Sejun's confusion. Yes, the Green Tower is almost on the opposite side of the Black Tower, clockwise. According to Ajax's explanation, the towers are arranged clockwise from the Black Tower as follows: Red Tower, Golden Tower, Purple Tower, Green Tower, Blue Tower, Brown Tower, Silver Tower, and White Tower. So that's how it is. Thus, Sejun learned about the layout of the 9 towers. In the meantime, Ophelia Iorg, the tower farmer of the Green Tower, has completed the command. 205 elixir, cherry tomatoes imbued with powerful and mighty magic power are stored in the temporary storage of the Green Tower. Ophelia had finished harvesting. That was quick. Compared to Ajax's working speed, it was incredibly fast. Transport. Sejun, curious about the elixir, cherry tomatoes imbued with powerful and mighty magic power, spent 8 million tower coins to transport the 205 cherry tomatoes from the temporary storage. He grumbled about the cost, but it wasn't a significant amount for Sejun. Whoosh. 205 elixir, cherry tomatoes imbued with powerful and mighty magic power have arrived. Thus, 205 elixir-grade cherry tomatoes were placed in front of Sejun. Why do they look like this? Sejun picked up a cherry tomato and frowned at its mushy texture as he checked its options. Elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful and mighty magic power. These are mutant cherry tomatoes that absorb the strong magic power of the blue moon alone at the highest point in the tower. Grown by a naive farmer who doesn't even know the farm and farming, its taste is inferior to the original. Consumption permanently increases magic power by 50. It grew by absorbing powerful magic power. It cannot grow in places without strong magic power. Grower, Ophelia Iorg, the Green Tower's tower farmer. Shelf life 100 years. Grade A. Ah, that's right, it was her. Sejun recalled the tasteless carrots he had received as a prize at the carrot harvesting contest during the past harvest festival. It turned out that the grower's name was Ophelia at that time. Sejun tasted the cherry tomato to see how flavorless it was. It's really bland, who would eat this? Sejun pondered as he looked at the mushy white cherry tomatoes in front of him. Although the cherry tomatoes that Sejun usually enjoyed could increase magic power by 50, these tasteless ones were unlikely to be popular since all the animals had already tasted Sejun's cherry tomatoes. At that moment, that could work. Sejun remembered the pickled cherry tomatoes he had tried at a restaurant before. He started by making a cross-shaped cut at the ends of the cherry tomatoes and began to boil them. After boiling, he peeled the separated skins and soaked the cherry tomatoes in honey water. You have achieved the feat of making the first cherry tomato honey pickles in the tower. The recipe for cherry tomato honey pickles has been registered under Cooking LV 9. Your proficiency of Cooking LV 9 has increased slightly. Thus, the dish was completed. Thanks to the preparation, the effectiveness of the ingredients increased by 5%. I need to let it ferment for a day. Sejun placed the bowl containing the cherry tomato honey pickles in the kitchen and got up when. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I've done everything you asked, meow. Smack. Theo clung to Sejun's leg as he spoke. What about Black Rabbit? He said he was busy and went down with the rabbits right away, meow. Is that so? Right, meow. Black Rabbit said to give these to Chairman Park, meow. Theo handed Sejun 3 land deeds received from Black Rabbit. They were for the 73rd, 62nd, and 57th floors of the Black Tower. I should go too. Thus, Sejun lost the pretext to send Theo alone to find Fenrir's core fragment and guys gather around. Called Kyungi and Ajax along with Theo and Blackie and put into the void storage. Clank. And closed the door. Aileen, I'll be back. The tower's administrator wishes you a safe journey. Okay. The summoning function for the initial engraving of the land deed for the 57th floor farm has been activated. Sejun greeted Aileen and vanished from the 99th floor of the Black Tower with the land deed. While Sejun was headed to the 57th floor. Park Sejun, you dare touch my granddaughter. An enraged Brachio was fiercely flying towards the Black Tower. Black Tower, 57th floor. You have arrived at the 57th floor of the Black Tower. Due to the effect of the title, Retrogressor, all stats increase by 42. My stats have increased, but why do I feel so chilly? Upon reaching the 57th floor, Sejun started to feel the effects of getting closer to Brachio. You are getting closer to a great being who is truly enraged at you. The intensity of the anger directed at you is steadily increasing. It was not just a feeling, but a reality. This seems to be going a bit too far. Thud. Exposed to Brachio's fury, Sejun fainted. Today, Sejun, the sunfish of the Black Tower, has fainted again. Chairman Park. Kyung. Dad has fainted. Hyung, I'll heal you. Theo, Kyungi, and Ajax hurriedly opened the void storage and came out to heal Sejun.